What's up? What's up with you? What's up with you? What's up with you? What's up with you? Right here. Is that all right? What's up with you? We're gonna talk about Shedeur. We're gonna talk about Shedeur. What's up with you, bro? We're gonna talk about Shedeur Sanders for a minute because he's been named the starting quarterback, and you have a Jalen Hurts, you got a Pat Mahomes. Pat Mahomes is mixed, but he identifies as a black man. I mean, he considers himself his father. He was raised by his father. Is that his mom? Yeah, he was raised by. They got a divorce. He was a baseball player. I'd say his father was very impactful in his life, probably for what first 8, 9. He used to take him to the baseball games. He wanted to be a pitcher. His daddy was a pitcher. Taught him how to hold a baseball. Taught him all of that. He very he's very close to both sides of his family. He's very close to both sides of his family. Um, but if you asked him, because he was a big advocate for Black Lives Matter, Pat Mahomes. I mean, he was open. He didn't have to say anything. He could have said, "Hey, man, I'm not sure if I want to get drug into this stuff." He certainly, if there was people being duped or misled, he was misled because I don't know about big contributor. I don't know, but I know he was a vocal supporter of Black Lives Matter. And in all his interviews, he emphasizes he's a black man. He doesn't see himself. He. I don't know how to put it. He considers himself a black man. Okay, not in a negative way. Not that he's not mixed. He has no problem with being mixed. But he considers himself, as a black man. So he's in NFL. You got Jalen Hurts, quiet in the NFL. You got Jaden Daniels, quiet. I saw Jimmy Brisket. He was playing for somebody. It was the Colts. He was playing for somebody for a while. Uh, he's in there. You got all types of backup quarterbacks and starting quarterback. I can't name them all. Starting quarterback. You got what's his name? Dude in New York. He sucks. Fields. Big Fields fan from Ohio State. Tracy says, "Do they want him to be a pushover?" They pretty much do. You got to understand the tradition of, and then he's exposed. He has a lot of publicity. Well, let's talk about Tiger Woods. Tiger Woods, no matter how good he was, he had it. He had to be humble. Now, Tiger wasn't humble when it came to criticism of black people. He wasn't. He didn't hold his tongue on that at all. He was, it was weird too because Tiger never really been around black people. He grew. He went to Stanford. Ain't no whole lot of black people at Stanford. Uh, his dad, I think, had a little bit was retired or something, and he wasn't really raised like that. And he still has these strong opinions of the black community, which shocks you because within the golf community, he's a very quiet, humble guy. He's not other than his, and we only found that out because of his situation with his wife. But other than his thirst for white women, you don't even know he exists. I mean, he's not outspoken about anything. He doesn't have a position. I remember doing Hurricane Katrina. He was on the golf course, and they were interviewing him about that, and he was saying that the people were shooting at the helicopters, which was not true. That wasn't true. He was saying it. That wasn't true. But the fact that he would carry that lie, and I was like, why is you commenting? You play golf. Why do you care? I mean, like this is a golf. Why would you say something like that? And they were saying that it was a rumor both way. It was rumors on who knows, but it wasn't the reason. But anyhow, he chimed in on it. But which made me wonder why. Because I said this dude never chimes on anything other than something that's negative. He'll only comment on the negative aspect, just like you see with these YouTube channels. They'll scream black fatigue whenever something bad happens, right? A black person does something bad, or it's black fatigue. I've had it with black folks. I can't take these black people. And then they'll turn around and do they'll turn around and ignore the good stuff. You know the game. He said, "What is his mom mixed with a black dude?" You didn't know Tiger Woods was mixed. Tiger Woods mixed. But the point is this: the black community, right? And that's another thing. The black community. Now you got to go. You would have to have that conversation with them, not one or two black people. Why don't they embrace Tiger Woods? The same way with this Shedeur thing, right? Probably because people watch Dion. They watch the criticism he got in the media. Um, he said, "You don't understand that game." What's there not to understand? Tiger Woods, very humble. Tiger Woods is a traditional. Tiger Woods is a traditional black golfer. He goes out, he plays good, he shuts his mouth. That's about it. He doesn't speak on anything about going to the Masters and the lack of black players and membership, the history of. He don't talk about that. Tiger Woods don't bring up the history of the Masters. He doesn't bring up the clubhouse. He doesn't bring up any of that stuff. And when he was considered the best golfer in the world, he shut his mouth. He didn't brag on that. He let other people do that. He couldn't get into that. He said the best golfers be the British ones, though. Yeah, sure, bro. I remember Tiger Woods got criticized. What are because you said British. What is that thing? They have this outfit that they put on, man. I don't know what is baggy pants and a hat. It's like a little funny looking hat, baggy pants. And Tiger refused to put that on. This was years ago. And they got on him about how he doesn't want to fit in tradition. And Tiger said, no, they didn't have my size. He said, when I got there, they had not tailored me. So I didn't want to put that on if it didn't fit me correctly and then play the course. And then they took care of that and they got him. He wears that. You got to see it, man. He's saying, I think that's a British Open or something. They wear this funny looking, it. Anyhow, Tiger Tiger Woods, for the most part, plays the role of traditional um, athlete, black athlete. He's quiet, he's humble. And he stays out. He stays out. There's an Asian dude right now, I think, right in the top 5. You don't even know who he is. He rarely says anything. He's a very good golfer, though. All you know about is his golf game. Maybe a few endorsements here, but for the most part, his golf game. He does not shadow um, the traditional golf players or what America considers the leaders in golf. Even when Arnold Palmer, Tiger was better than him, but Tiger made sure he made it a point not to emphasize that. He stayed in his place, man. He stayed in his place. He's obsessed with white women. He stayed in his place and he obsessed with white women. They didn't care. They didn't care. He never challenged the system. Tiger never did. Tiger never challenged the system. System is the same way it was when he first got in there. It's the same good old boys club. It's the same. If you are good, you better be humble. You better stay in your place. You better not talk about what goes on in Augusta. You better not talk about what goes on in some of these golf courses. You better not bring up any of that. And Tiger never did. In fact, in my opinion, Tiger kept leaning toward racism. In my opinion, Tiger deliberately went out of his way to criticize blacks, in my opinion, unfairly, because he wanted to play the white racism. He was very, especially when you start talking about the Hurricane Katrina. And that would be George Bush. That would be Junior, right? And Tiger Woods was up front. But I remember, I said, man, why does Tiger Woods? I said, Tiger Woods, a guy who never talks about issues. And somebody said, well, everybody can't be a Muhammad Ali. Everybody can't be a leader. And I said, okay, I accept that. Makes sense to me. It ain't for everybody. But I kept noticing, I said, why does Tiger always have something negative to say about black people? Like, I get it. He don't want to be outspoken. He don't want to be a Ali. He don't leave him alone. Let him play golf. Leave him alone. He went to Stanford. He really never even messed with black people to begin with. He's a mixed dude, Korean and black. If anything, he leans toward his Korean side. Okay, fine. Why does he have so much? Why does he always? He's very eager when it's something negative and it's really borderline racist. He's very open about that. He has no position to let the golfers know how he thinks. He said kilts. Is that what that is? A kilt? Yeah. Anyhow, Shedeur is challenging that, and the NFL has poured gasoline on it because the NFL screwed him over in the draft. Now the NFL, uh, they benched him and they challenged him. They basically tried to provoke him to come out and complain about the mistreatment, his mistreatment. They tried, and he did. He never said anything. He stayed, and that was their way of trying to break his spirit. They were trying to break this man and create this man who has no confidence. And just like it's not the same thing, right? We can't say it's the same thing. He said he's Thai. That Thai? I thought he was Korean. Okay, Thai. All right, he's Thai. But no, and you guys, as a black people, black person, you guys have probably been through this situation where they want to try to break you, and they don't want you to be, especially as a man, they don't want you to be a man. They do not want you to be a man. Um, in a sense, if you're challenging things, then it's a problem. Just being a man, going home to your wife and taking care of that, you could do that, but you cannot challenge things. Not you. Not you. You could say the same thing with Trump. When you look at Trump and Obama, you can say the same thing. Obama couldn't challenge the things that Trump challenges. He said, "I want to challenge this. How come I can't kick these people out this country? They're not Americans." So I'm the thing that's going on in Venezuela or wherever he is. I think it's Venezuela. He's blowing up those drug boats. They've always had the ability to do that. And they've always sensed those when they do their ops, because they have to go out as okay. The military, the United States has a thing called the Navy, and they also have a thing called the Coast Guard. They've always had radar. They've always been able to detect movement under in the ocean. Um, they've always they've been able to detect if you're coming in, whatever's coming around the United States, the coastal lines. They have radars. They watch subs. They track subs. There's subs in U.S. water submerged right off the coast. They stay about 10 miles off the coast, and they're sitting there. All types of subs. And the U.S. has subs, and they go on off the coast of other countries, and all of them do it, and they have to watch. They have to be able to see, right? They have to use the radar so they don't run into each other. So these drug boats and drug mules and things, they've always tracked that. Trump challenges, I can't do anything but legislate. I got to go over there and complain. And then, hey, can you stop the drugs coming in? Okay, we'll stop. We'll do some checks. And okay, now it's in open water. Oh, that's a drug boat. Uh, so what do we normally do? We just let it go because it's in open water, and we would, it's like Trump said, no, shoot it down. He said, I don't care, shoot it down. It's a threat to America. He'll never be held accountable for that. I mean, he'll never be prosecuted for that because that is his legal job. He is supposed to protect Americans. That is his job. That is why he was hired. So all of the whine and they shot down this boat and they shot down the wrong boat. It's not going to come back on him because he's still in the execution of his duties trying to protect America. And he is. He is trying to protect them. He's trying to protect them. So, and he's a different dude. And what I'm saying, you see the type, he's a white dude. He challenges the system. If he thinks the system's wrong, he's not going to shut up. He's going to challenge it. When you look at Obama couldn't change anything. And everybody bring up the gay stuff. That's about the only thing that he could do. But even on that was the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court brought it in, and that's about the only thing he can do. He certainly couldn't do anything for black people. You knew that. And right now, he's no symbol for black people. Obama's not a symbol. He's quiet now. If anything, Obama's is the traditional black because he's quiet. Jasmine Crockett says more than he does. And she, he's a former ex-president. He can chime in. He can say anything. He can speak, but he won't speak. And he's not going to do it. Shedeur Sanders has been, and also you can add Dion on this. They went to Jackson State. They got a relationship with young Dolph's, his widow and the kids. I think Shedeur knew, he met him or he knew Dolph. They was in Mississippi, and Dion has adopted the kids for the most part. They get to go to games free. They'll probably be going to those Cleveland games. It's not about the money. It's just that he wanted to be a presence in their life. He was talking about it when he was at Jackson State, the relationship he had built with the Dolph family. And the black community has co-opted Dion and his kids. And one of the things they were making a big deal about is that Dion has created this representation of black excellence, generational legacy, and power. He made it to the Hall of Fame. He's now a head coach, and we're not here to talk about that. He actually I had Colorado last week, man, and he just needs a quarterback. He's got that defense right. He just don't have a quarterback, so the defense can only play good for so long, and that's pretty much. And he'll probably lose out the rest of these games. He doesn't have a quarterback. I mean, not he's not accurate. The guy's a freshman. He's like right out of high school. He's inaccurate. He has made some throws, but he misses most of them. But Dion, he had to go through the minefield, the system of power, being a black man, arrogant, the best cornerback, demanding at the time the highest amount of money. You got to understand, America looking at a black man getting $35 million. This is back in the time when contracts were going for what, about 2 mil, 3 mil a year. You was lucky 4 or 5. Dion stepped out there and got $35 million contract from the Cowboys. In addition, Dion was one of them humongous endorsements. So I don't know. I don't know how much money he made with his endorsements, but when he was making money, almost like well, not as much as Jordan, but he. I'm trying to think of their career as Jordan started to get older. Thinking about Dion, but Dion, it wasn't for everybody. Dion, his touchdown dances, all of his kicking his knees, yelling in the locker room, throwing water on reporters, beating up his teammates, ex teammates. I think Andre Rison, he beat Andre Rison on the field. Um, these guys, um, Dion was not for everybody, but now Shedeur, the black community, has adopted him. And like I said, there are other black quarterbacks in the league, but they feel a special union with him, a unique, distinct union that they don't share with the other quarterbacks. You got Dak Prescott. You got um, you want me? I had to go and get a list because I don't even know them. That which is a good thing. Now there's so many black quarterbacks. There's so many of them. I don't know them all. Right. So it got I left off Lamar Jackson. Right. Right, and they don't identify because his dad's not in the Hall of Fame. His dad hasn't always been uh, someone who's challenged the system, and people are looking at the Sanders and as symbolic, and they said that these attacks is a way to try to humble his family and the way to try to create this narrative that the Negro is needed only. I mean, the Negro has to be bent knee and humble, and then the Negro, it's he let him rake the leaves, let the Negro rake the leaves. He gets them all raked up, right? This is a man with a family, just like the man in charge has a family. And then his wife says, "Well, it looks like he's ready to be paid." And the man just sits there and says, "Okay." You make him wait outside for an hour to see if he goes. If he gets upset, you don't pay him. He yells, you don't pay him. Well, if he stays humble, stays out there with the bees and he doesn't say anything, and then you open the door and you say, "Here you go, Leroy. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir." And you say, "No, I can use him as he can rake my leaves and he knows his place. He knows not to get upset, even when I mistreat him." See, that's the way they do the Negro to try to break him as a man. He gets home, his wife will say, "You late? What? I had to wait to get paid." just wait. Yeah, and these things that resonates with a lot of black people, and people, and the community doesn't understand that those experiences. I would hope nobody is experiencing that, but people have experienced things like that. I remember one time I worked for this job, and anyhow, it was man, it must have been 101. It was about, I'd say about 98. No, it was 100, 101, 98 to 101 at 10 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we was working on the roof. And at 10, so three dudes quit. I saw them. They went down and they quit. And the dude said, well, if you don't work, you got to work 6. He said, you got to give me at least 5 hours. He said, if you don't give me 5 hours, I'm not going to pay you anything. And them dudes tried to finish. They said, nah, man, fuck it. They left. It was just too hot for them. Right. It was about 7 people. It was about 10 people there, right? They stayed. So because we needed the money. Like, what are you talking about? It's too hot, man. I need this money. I got bills, bro. I got bills. I got things I want to do. I need this money. So stayed out there. We gave him 8 hours. So right around the 8-hour mark, he goes, hey, you guys are lucky. We want to keep you guys another 8 hours. We're going to double your pay. It's not as hot. It's going to, but we'll be fine. We'll get you guys some water. And a dude said, hey, man, I got to go pick my kids up. And another dude said, yeah, I that doesn't fall in my plans. I got my wife. I got my kid. I got other things I got to do. Other people are depending on me to do something else. He said, had I known this opportunity, I would have let you know before I came here. But no, man, that white dude got so mad. That white dude went back into the trailer, came out with a gun. Now you gotta understand, man, I needed some money, right? That dude went and got a gun. And he had the gun on his waist, and he said, who wants to work and who doesn't? Because I got more work for you guys. You guys said, what are you talking about? Man, I gotta go. What am I gonna do? Not pick my kids up from school? Man, that dude, he put his hand on his pistol. I thought he was finna get shot. And he said, I don't want if anybody who I pay right now, if you check out right now, don't come back. He put his hand on his pistol. And he went ahead, he signed the slips, and we left. And I said, man, what kind of shit is that? But there you go. There you go. You get shot. That's the black man. You work hard, you work, and then for your troubles, they shoot your ass when you ask for your money. And on a lot of stuff, because now we can get down, because a lot of racism or oppression, you see how that transfers like into street culture? Because they'll do that in the streets. They'll have you do all types of illegal shit when you show up to try to get whatever you were promised. Yeah, they shoot you. But isn't that crazy? That's the streets, though. You deal with that at your own risk. But a job, man, you go, you sign up, you go to a job. Hey, we need some men to go to this job. You go out there, and you're there, and you're doing the job, and then it's quitting time, and it was 100 degrees, and you're sweating. You want to go inside a cooled area, and the guy says, "I want you to stay another 8." And it's like, man, what are you talking about? Well, how can we ain't gonna be able to do it? Oh, that motherfucker, you gonna do what I tell you to do. That's basically what he was saying. He said, "No, we're not. I'm going to give me my money and I'm leaving." We left. He didn't like that either, because there was a couple of other dudes, or white dudes. They were like right around the trailer, and they came out, and he didn't like Negroes telling him, because them white dudes, we had like 4 white dudes, they quit and left. A number of black dudes there, and he didn't like Negroes telling him how things are going to be. He didn't like that. Like, you don't get to tell me when you get off and on. I tell you. It's like, And so I started thinking about cotton fields, and I scratched my head. I said, man, got that little piece of change, right? It came in, though. He's paying well. Got that. You know where I went? I went to the Giant. I went to the strip club. Yeah. Yeah. Got that little piece of money, man. Went home, got cleaned up, man. Went to the Giant at the Shake. Up in there with that cool air at the Shake House. Yeah. But anyhow, Dion is a threat to the traditional oppression of black people in the way that they try to take from them, starting with his time at the combine. And you know, I'd have to see an interview with Dion because clearly he lets his kid do the talking. He's not told him, hey, this is how you do this is how you do that. He lets Shedeur do it. He's letting his son. You can tell this is a young man trying to express himself, and he's doing it in a very immature, if you want to go by that way, because he's trying his best, and he does, but that's his style, and he's coming fast, becoming the first family. You know, Deion Sanders, first family, like you got the I don't even know what they call them, the royals in Britain. You got the I don't even know what they call them. The king and queen and whatever the family's called. Dion is becoming the first family in the black community with Shedeur, and the way Shedeur was treated has been like a bonding with the community, with the black community, which means he's going to inherit a lot of criticism. The dude said, I'm a victim. What are you talking about? I'm talking about Shedeur, brother. This is why they burnt down our towns. It wasn't over a white girl, it was over business. That's that overseer mentality. Brother, whoever you are, right? You say, I'm a victim, right? Or we're a victim. Look at all the people. They don't know me. These people don't know me. They agree with because their life experiences have been the same. They know exactly what I'm talking about. You don't want to know. You don't want to know. Isn't that something? You victimize someone and then mock them and say, you're a victim. I hope you're not a victim. Well, you victimize them. Right? You're saying Shedeur got and he's going to beat Frisco. I saw Purdy throw the 3 interceptions. They'll probably go back to Matt Jones, and Purdy is not 100%. Cleveland has a better defense than the Panthers. Much better defense. Purdy's not going to be able to move the football on that defense. He's going to beat the 49ers, and he'll probably win out the rest of his games. And he's going to validate that he was done wrong. And see, this is what America does. Because they messed with the wrong guy. They oppress a guy like Shedeur. They try to harm him. They fail. He gets out and shows the world that he was being victimized. He was being mistreated by the system. The system is not as fair as people want to believe. It's just not. And then when black people say that, they go and find the tethers, they go and find the blacks who will run up and say that blacks are not victims in America. They'll come out and they'll say all of that. We're talking about sports. We're not talking about, and he's got the hood. He's got something that a lot of a lot of these other black quarterbacks never really had. He has the hood, and he says he understands that. And they said Shedeur went to a banquet. They said Shedeur Sanders went to a banquet. It was with all of these big names. Rub your shoulders with Joe Montana. Uh, there's Steve Young over there. There's Warren Moon. There's Emmitt Smith. They said Shedeur went to some type of NFL banquet, and Shedeur doing the they did all of it. There was a small meet and greet. They said during the dinner where people are fighting for, they want to have a seat at the table with the commissioner. This is the commissioner's table, and guys are fighting to have a seat at the table with the commissioner. Guys are fighting to have a seat with this quarterback, this player, this Hall of Fame player. They said Shedeur got his food, walked over to the kids' table where everybody had brought their children or whatever, and they had their own little table. He sat with them, and he had fun, with them, getting to know them, talking to them, taking pictures. It was Shedeur Sanders, right? And they like Shedeur. And he found, at white and black, he found the kids. He just he just sat down there and ate with them, because that's what it showed. He wasn't even thinking about all them other guys. He don't even think like that. All that's Joe Montana, all that's Tom Brady, all that's, Tom Brady has coached him and stuff like that. But I'm saying, man, he's not even that type of dude. He's trying to sit with man. Oh, that's Eli, that's Peyton, that's this Hall of Fame player. That's Jerry Rice, right? Oh, that's Jerry Rice. That's Peyton Manning. That's this Hall of Fame player, this running back, this head coach, there's Jimmy Johnson, there's Terry Bradshaw right there. Shedeur went over to the kids' table, sat down, and ate with the kids and laughed and joked, and wasn't even thinking about those dudes, man. He's a different type of dude. I don't know why guys don't. And see, this is where a lot of people are making their mistakes. They keep trying to put him like that. He's not they want to do that. He's some angry black man. No, he's not. No, he's not. He's a black dude. He was raised not to kiss anybody's butt. He feels comfortable with kids because they're innocent, like him. And when they say they like him, he likes that. Because they're saying it because they really like him. They don't want anything from him. He drives a Rolls Royce. They're not trying to be his friend so they can get him to, hey, come pick me up in the Rolls. Hey, man, let me rock with you, man. No, they're innocent, and he likes the fact that it's genuine. There's a genuine interest in him. And they said he's already won over Cleveland because he constantly goes out and does his charity work with Cleveland. And he'll deal with the homeless. He'll deal with them, but he centers his stuff about improving the lives of the kids, at-risk kids. They can be white, they can be Chinese, they can be any color. They're at risk, and he's making sure he can bring attention, if anything, going and bringing attention to his plight. There are other people. He ain't the only rich man. He ain't rich. He actually lost money going there. But and Arch Manning is gonna lose money when he goes to the pros, as crazy as that sound. And he's playing better though. Arch Manning. If you was to tell me a couple of weeks ago, could he be an NFL quarterback? I would have said no. But lately, and if they beat A&M, they got a good team though. Texas has a good team, but if they beat A&M, he's done a lot. He has a good game against A&M. If he has a good game against A&M, you got to salute Arch, man. Arch got better. And see, this is what they won't do with Shedeur. They'll criticize. Well, they didn't do that, but Arch got criticized early, but he's improved. They cite the fact that he was bad and he's got better. They don't do that with Shedeur. They don't want to do it. They're going to beat the 49ers. This is going to be not the same, but this is going to be a Tim Tebow type um, ex, experience. But he's not Tim Tebow. He's better than Tim Tebow. He's going to take, now that he's taken over, he's going to win. And let me tell you, one of the reasons he's going to win is because of that youthfulness. See, one thing about the NFL is they break you. And sometimes they have to do it because they want you to be coachable. And when they say coachable, they want you to do what they tell you to do. Now, this ruins a lot of players. You got a lot of guys who can get sacks in college. They're defensive end and they get sacks. They take the quarterback down. And they get into the pros and they go in front of a defensive line coach that's an idiot. And then turn around. He's like, no, I don't want you doing it this way. I want you to do it this way. If you do it this way, we might give up the run. We got to make sure we watch the run. We got to make sure we watch the run. And the guy said, well, I'm used to going this way and I get sacks. No, we got to watch the run. And all of a sudden, the guy gets in. He never gets sacks. And people start saying, what's happened, man? You know, the NFL slowed. No, the coach slowed him down. The coach did it. And that's the thing that I haven't talked to Deion, but I will credit Deion. He didn't want his son to be coached. See, people keep saying Deion wanted to coach his son. No, he didn't want his son to be coached. You got to remember, this is a Hall of Fame player. He knows exactly you think he hadn't talked to other players, other quarterbacks, other coaches, and they talk about how they ruin players because of their bad, terrible coaching? They were a good player until they got to this team and they got coached horrible. And now they got coached so bad, they're no longer even able to play in the league, but they were a great player. You can say that about Tebow. The coaches got to him. You say the coaches didn't want him, and you can say that about Tim Tebow. Because what they do is they criticize you. When you go out, you throw touchdowns, they say, well, okay, well, look, you threw a touchdown this time, but we don't want you to make this type of throw. It's high risk, and we don't play high risk football right here. Yeah, you got a touchdown, but don't throw. Don't throw over the middle. Don't throw over the middle. That's Pittsburgh there. Don't throw over the middle. Well, if you had the quarterbacks they had, I agree with them. Don't throw the football. Yeah, don't throw the football over the middle. Don't run and then throw back across your body, you know, all of that stuff. And they take it from these good quarterbacks and it ruins them. When you take that from them, it's like Lamar. It would be like if you had Lamar Jackson coming out of Louisville and you told him not to run. You're the quarterback there. Your name's Tom Nobody. You played 5 years for the Colts. You was a backup to a backup. You retired. You stayed in the coaching. The guy who you played for, he was your golf buddy, so he hired you on as a quarterback's coach. And it just so happened the quarterback there was a good quarterback, and you knew better. You knew better than to go in and try to change his mechanics. But then you hang in the league, say 2 years, then you wind up going to a bad team. And then that bad team drafts overall. And then you tell Lamar, I don't want you to run. Say, hey, what we want you to do is stay in the pocket and make the throws. We don't need you to run out the pocket looking for an open guy. We don't need you to run down the field. We got a running back for that. Yeah, and guys, that's a bad coach. Guys encounter guys like that, and Deion didn't want that around his son. Now, you see what's happened that Deion's got away from his son, right? And I know Deion's talked to him and stuff, you know, but that's the real world. What Shedeur is encountering is the real world. He's encountering what really happens to people in the real world. When you have to turn your son, he's becoming a man. He has to go to college. He has to go to the military. He has to go to another city. Your daughter You as a parent, you suffer from you want to make them tough. You want to make them strong, but you struggle with turning them free. You struggle with that. You struggle with turning them free because you know this is a cruel world. This is a cruel world, man. It's a hard world. You can keep them protected at home. You look at Dion, he's wealthy. Dion's a millionaire. Dion was a millionaire, what, in the 90s, 91? Dion could, all of that stuff, all these rappers and all of these parties, he did. And Dion went out a lot. He was a part of the night scene and he was welcomed. And him, Michael, how Mike kept getting caught. Michael Irvin, you keep saying Dion didn't. Mike kept getting caught. Dion is smarter than people think. You see who he's dating, the Carucci chick? Half his age. You know what I'm saying? Michael Irvin kept getting caught. It don't mean other people were not doing the same thing he was doing. oh, oh man, yeah, let's not do that one. Hold up. Oh man, he says, he says President Obama has no power. He allowed soldiers to kill, all the race soldiers kill black people. He did nothing for America. Well, he maintained the way things are, the status quo. So he didn't change anything. You're right. He didn't. He could have. He could have. If you look at Trump, and you can say the same thing about Joe Biden, he didn't change nothing. But if you look at Donald Trump, if you take a look at Donald Trump and the legislation, there have been executive orders he's been pushing, right? That's straight off talk radio. Rush Limbaugh has passed away. Those are Rush Limbaugh. If you listen to Rush over the years, those are things he talked about. We need to have an order where you can't burn the American flag. A law. We need to have a law for this. Birthright citizenship. Affirmative action. Rush Limbaugh was very about affirmative action. He said, how come he said, you got blacks, you got slavery, you got the history of slavery, and you got affirmative action. He said, but they messed it up. He said, look at how they implemented it. He said, instead of making it, well, he didn't believe in it at all, but I'm just saying, he said, somebody from Laos can take a boat, hop in a boat, and float to America, and the minute they hit the shores, instant protections. For what? He said, why do they deserve instant protections? Someone from fucking Cuba. Someone from Egypt, India. And they're not going to make it here by boat. But the whole point was once they get here, they get all of the benefits of the slaves, of what the society did to those people. Yet those people, and like I said, they use the paperwork to keep those people sort of locked out of it in some ways. So Shedeur has become symbolic with overcoming oppression and symbolic with a black wealth class that lives this lavish, elitist lifestyle that's often tucked away in the back of the closet. They're not on display. They're not on display. We was talking about Paris Hilton, America, wealthy people. She had a show. I don't know why it quit. I don't know. I didn't watch, but she's fine though. Yeah, you're right. She is fine. Paris Hilton is fine. But that was showing you got the 90210, right? Once again, wealth, American wealth. You had lifestyles of the rich and famous. You have all of these capitalism, these shows that highlight the spoils of wealth, right? And but you don't see a lot of blacks on that. When you see blacks, you see the slavery, you see slave movies, you see homelessness, you see crime, you see very negative things. And then you don't, when you look at a Shedeur, remember Shedeur is not the son of a welfare mom. He's, which is not, let me say this. Nothing wrong with that. But you got to acknowledge there are guys like Shedeur. But nothing wrong with that. You was raised in the projects, and you are a Ray Lewis, and you was raised with by your grandma, which you could fill in the blank. Why no mom? You know why? So you was raised on food stamps and in the projects, and uh, scouts saw you at a high school and gave you a scholarship. And this was back when you didn't even have to go to class. All you had to do was go to the field. They had people sit in the class, take your tests. And that was illegal. And a lot of schools got put on probation. But you got to remember, when he went to college, Ray went to college back when there were all types of violations with probation and all types. Booster handshake, which is a $500 hand. It could be $1,000 booster. They say, go shake the hand. They say, you see them people over there? You see those guys? They want to meet you. You go up to them and they say, you're a linebacker. You're so-and-so, right? You're Ray Lewis, right? You're the guy we just got out of Tempest High School. Yeah. Yeah. They say, okay. Well, we expect good things out of you. And he puts his hand out and he gives Ray Lewis $300. Booster handshake. Gets around the locker room. The players know it. Say, hey, we got a boosters luncheon. And you guys want to show up? I'll let them know. Yeah, it's a good old boys club. It's a bunch of wealthy men. They are boosters, and they get an opportunity to have a boys' night out with a football team, your favorite football team, the Miami Hurricanes, and not all of them, a lot of them show up. And if, they shake the hand of the booster, they're going to get a couple of thousand, and it's probably Bitcoin now, how they're doing it now, probably, but yeah, that's the book. And they got plenty of money. And they can get a coach fired. If they don't like that coach, man, and that coach ain't winning, they get their coach fired. Boosters have a lot of say. And boosters can say, hey, they can say, look, this kid who plays with my nephew, my wife's been on me, man. We've been going to these games. I go, but there's a kid on that team, man. You guys got to get a scout out there. You got to see this guy. This guy's twice their size. They can't do anything with him. You got to get this guy out here. And a scout will show up. You're a booster. Scout will show up. And then scout will say, yeah, bring him on. You see him at a luncheon. You say, hey, yeah, I used to watch you, man. You play with my kid, my nephew. Booster handshake. Give him a couple hundred. Now, that is very illegal. But that was going on all day. Man, you want to talk about the Hurricanes. Come on, man. When you start talking about when Urban, oh, man. You might as well call them the Medellin Hurricane, Medellin cartel. You might as well just call them Medellin Hurricane. There was so much corruption going on with Miami. Back with Jimmy Johnson was, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. When Jimmy was going, they were everything, anything. That was Miami, too. That was Miami's already doing its own thing right now as we speak. It's a different type of world. But when he was out there, man, he was doing all of that. He says, the Masters Golf Club formed by former slave owners. Okay, they're not in it anymore. I think golf was created by a black man, right? Wasn't golf created by a black man? Something like that. Well, what Shedeur is fast becoming, and he's going to have to win because the black community is a sort of a jaded community. They're not going to suffer with him. If he starts losing, he'll lose their support. But if he wins, you're going to see uh, a group of people come out of the woodworks for him. What's up with you, Candy Girl? You're going to see a group of people come out of and look. Let me just say this: I'll keep up with football. They're going to beat the 49ers. No, I'll tell you right now, they're going to win all of the rest of their games because you got to understand. I followed him. I didn't follow him at Jackson, but when he got to Colorado, I followed him. I seen like 90%. I didn't see every game, but a lot of his games used to come on at night. And there was two reasons to watch it: him, Dion, and him. I watched the Colorado game like an idiot. I should have put my money on Notre Dame, which I was planning on doing. They blew somebody out almost 70 to Syracuse. They blew Syracuse out 70 to like 10 or something like that. It was 35-point. And I said, that did scare me off. That's 35 points. Syracuse? I was like, man, that's a lot of points. 35 points, and Notre Dame don't score like that. But they got that in the first half. Notre Dame getting ready for them playoffs. You know, they was in the championship. And that is my team. So I'm a big Notre Dame fan, man. Big fan. I got to go get me some Notre Dame apparel so I can walk around the hood. I'll be the only dude with a Notre Dame hat and jacket on. Get a little bit oversized so it's a big jacket, big hat. Wear it like Puff be wearing this stuff. But anyhow, those games came on late at night. Anyhow, he's going to win out, and he's going to get better. And Cleveland has a defense, and that's all he needs. And with him and that defense, you're going to see a different type of Cleveland Browns. You're going to see a different type of team. It's going to be a different type of team. And his oppression, all it did was solidify the support. That's all it did. So a lot of people are watching. A lot of pros are watching, which is very different. You know, as she said, they don't normally keep up with football like that. You look at someone like Barry Sanders. Barry Sanders don't even keep up with football like that. He might get invited to a Detroit game, but he don't be at home. Barry Sanders ain't at home watching football, watching the Lions every week. And, you know, people like that, they're paying attention to this guy. And to a certain degree, there are people out there who don't want black people to, you know, what did they say? J. Edgar Hoover said he couldn't have a black messiah. He said, we don't want these black people uniting. We can't have them united. America won't work the way we want it to work with a united group of blacks. So they went on and they got rid of King, and they were the underpinnings for, they were the ones, the puppet masters. They didn't actually do, well, actually, I think one of those dudes did work for the FBI. They were not, they showed that dude on 60 Minutes. He was in his jail cell. He was praying. But I think one of those dudes was attached to the FBI or the CIA when they knocked off Malcolm X. They knocked him down. They knocked down King. They knocked down the Panthers. Obama, they emasculated him. They made him the first gay president. So as far as a man, I'm talking about a black man, you know, that ain't a whole lot for a black man, especially a straight black man. I mean, that ain't really, you know, and he's supposed to be, well, look, well, he was weak. How about that? And you look at Trump, this is where a lot of black people are impressed. This is what a lot of people don't understand. They're impressed with his masculinity. Now his recklessness, no, where he just does stuff and like he doesn't know what he's doing. But no, his willing to make a decision. They're impressed with that. As a man, you got to do that. You got to make a decision, when you're wrong. You know, the saying with shooting down them boats. He's commissioned to protect the United States. So if he's ever questioned about it, he's gonna say, "I'm doing my job." They're bringing drugs over here, and they know the boats. They the military. They don't make mistakes like that. They have all of the uh, technology to identify the boats. They just saw them guys coming out of a submarine. I think 2 weeks ago they had a drug submarine. They have submarines. They show them. When they caught them, they demanded they get up, and they came up and they arrested all of those guys. They made them come out of the submarine with your hands up. Let me see your hands. They said they found like 400 pounds of cocaine in the submarine. Something like that. Like the stream, man. What we doing, man? What my mod said. I haven't seen any mod tonight. What is morning? Now we got the we talking football, right? But we got the Thanksgiving, right? One day before. Tradition, right? On our way to Christmas, the holidays, right? It's I mean, I hope your holidays are good, man. And if they're not, they'll be better. I had a aunt. I had a relative who lived in a seniors care center, and well, it wasn't a nursing home. It was like an independent seniors care building, right? I had a aunt, a relative lived there, and she there were other people there, right? And I had developed a relationship with security guard, right? I would talk to him sometimes. I would come there, and sometimes I talk to him damn near longer than I talk to the relative. Go see the relative, 15 minutes. Talk to the security guard, damn near 2 hours, right? So it was a Thanksgiving. I was gonna run up, say hello, make sure she was straight. So I'm talking to the security guard, and people are going, and they're telling the guy, "Where you going?" He said, "I'm going down to the convention center." And they said, "For what?" He said, "Get Thanksgiving." And I was looking at that. And and people don't realize that because a lot of people don't have families. They've gotten older. They've gotten sicker. And you can be divorced. Guys got a divorce. Him and his wife, she probably put a restraining on him. She can lie. She can just go down there and lie. She can. She can. She don't want him to see the kids. She can create reasons for him not to see the kids. Now these people are by themselves, man. So now this dude, he was comfortable with going to get his Thanksgiving. He wasn't ashamed. He was comfortable with. In fact, he was bragging on it. He was going to stand in the line and he was going to get that Thanksgiving meal. He didn't care what nobody called him or said. They weren't going to feed him. They weren't going to feed him. But it woke me up to the world we live in. We don't all live the same. We don't. We just don't all live the same. Some of us have to live a certain kind of way. This dude, he wasn't. Now, I respect he was a secure dude. He was broke, and he was secure about being broke. Because some of us, we not secure with being broke, man. We have an issue. We broke, and we have an issue with being broke when we shouldn't be. He said black males looking at athletes like they are gods. Why? Okay, you know what we gonna do? Because this trolling and stuff. What is this trolling? What is this trolling, man? This dude said black men, like people don't celebrate Archie Manning, Peyton Manning, the SEC, USC. They what about tell me now? But if you're gonna be see, this is the thing because I've been hoping one of the white guys would just join to make his point, man. That's all. Just make your point, man. That's all. Nobody cares about your hostility or your obvious issues with a black man. There we go, right there. There you go. There you go. Now, if you don't join the stream, we're gonna take care of you the right way, the appropriate way. Because it's cowardly to sit in a stream and take shots at people. You know, you want to join them, hit the link. If you don't join the link, you've shown that you're nothing but a coward who hides in a chat box, and which makes you wonder, man, we about to make a turn into the holiday, and then going forward, we getting into a new year. What's your next year going to look like? What is your next year going to be better? Are you going to be better? Those are the questions, man. Now, Shedeur Sanders, as far as these next 5 weeks, um, he's going to be championed. He's going to be champion, and his connection to the black community is unique. It's a tighter connection. When you look at a Michael Jordan, Michael pretty much said that he stayed away from things like that. He really stayed out of conversations about race, and he makes his money, made his money, uh, shut his mouth. Um, he was what they wanted. They wanted someone who's going to be quiet. When you go back to Muhammad Ali, when you go back to Muhammad Ali, he was outspoken. He was a damn good boxer. He could have shut his mouth. He wouldn't have been as popular, but in the ring he could box. And he took a lot of damage too. You know, some people believe that's why his Parkinson's was brought out or whatever. They say it helped, it aggravated it and made it come further. But Muhammad Ali, um, he was outspoken dude. He was outspoken against the Vietnam War. And you got to understand a black man saying stuff like what Ali was saying. One thing for Malcolm to say it. Malcolm was a Muslim. Malcolm was off the beaten path. You know what I'm saying? America could look at a Malcolm from the standpoint that he's an extremist and that you don't have to pay him any attention. But they couldn't do that with Ali. And Ali took a stand. And Ali and Malcolm, there's a bunch of pictures. They hung out together a lot. That was his mentor, Malcolm. I mean, yeah, Malcolm. Malcolm. Name change, Malcolm. Join the nation, Malcolm. And he earned a certain connection to the black community that others have not. And I would say Shedeur, I don't want to see him get political, but we just had Kendrick Perkins, right? You tell me. You tell me, all right? You just had Kendrick Perkins won a basketball championship in the media. You had Kendrick Perkins. He said right here, he says, I'm looking at right here on some foreign newspaper right there. It says, okay, Kendrick Perkins compared Shedeur Sanders' popularity to former U.S. President Barack Obama in 2009. Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since 2009. He said, you know what happened then? He's the most powerful black man since 2009. That's a big deal right there. That's a big deal. When you look at the guys in the chat box who, the clowns in the chat box, you have to realize that um, Kendrick Perkins, an NBA guy, I think he's a millionaire. When we look up his, let me see, what's his net worth? Kendrick Perkins, let's see. $28 million. 28 million, 25 million. He's married, 4 kids. He's well adjusted. He said that. He's a host, I think, on First Take and at ESPN. He said that. He said Shedeur Sanders is the most powerful black man since Barack Obama. His popularity is on par with that. He's not the only black quarterback. There are plenty of black quarterbacks in the NFL. Yet it's something about Shedeur. And once again, the NFL didn't do themselves any favors. The NFL's created this movement. The NFL reached out. I mean, NFL screwed him over with a 5th-round draft pick. He's clearly the best quarterback in the draft. You look at Cam Ward. I watched Cam at Miami. He did pretty good at Miami, but he's been struggling in Tennessee. They fired the coach. He's been struggling, man. And the Titans have a guy called Will Fuhrer. He blew out his knee. He'll be back 100% next year. I'm telling you, man, that job's gonna go to Will Fuhrer. Because Cam's not, they're not gonna let him develop. See, they're not gonna let him develop. That's what guys don't get. They're not gonna go through no lean years until you got you a solid quarterback. They're not gonna do that. Not with him. They're gonna use the fact that he's inexperienced and he's a rookie, put him on the bench, and they'll put the other guy in. Um, Dion, Hall of Fame, all the bouncing around, bucking and jumping and bucking and jumping. A lot of people didn't like that. A lot of black people didn't like that. A lot of black people get bothered when they see a black person out of what that black person has an opinion of how a black person should be. And when they see that black person out of his station, they get upset. They get troubled. They get troubled. They keep thinking, oh, he gonna if a black person goes into Whole Foods and there's a black person in there arguing with the staff, immediately that black person thinks that has something to do with them. They'll go over, they'll try to intervene, they'll go over there, try to mediate, they'll try to sell it. Well, I was like, do you know this person? No. Or do you know the staff? No. Well, it has nothing to do with, but and those are the ones that don't like Shedeur. Those are the ones that don't like Shedeur because Shedeur goes against the brainwashing and the teaching that the black man has to be a humble, quiet, champion type man. You're looking at Jalen Hurts. Everybody can jump up and down and dance but Jalen Hurts just stays quiet. Stays quiet. Which is his personality, but not everybody's not like that. He hangs around his wife is sorority, he's a fraternity. He does a lot of stuff within with the Divine Nine. He stays pretty much around them. He doesn't really do anything outside of that. He doesn't go to strip club. Well, why would he have to go? Or why would he want to go, huh? He doesn't do the strip club thing. That's not his thing. He just plays football and he stays quiet. Shedeur, on the other hand, that's not his personality. And he wants to be outspoken. He's been prodded to be like his father. His father's like that. He's like his dad. And somebody said um, LeBron may be like that. Who had a good game last night? LeBron. Lakers played the Clippers at home. That's one of the first times I've seen. Well, I don't really watch basketball, but LeBron, like, he was well in sync with the team, and they got a good team. They just need to play some defense. They ain't too good on D, but they can score. And LeBron brings them a balance when Reeves and the other guys are out, and he joins them. He brings them a happy balance. He said Shador is the most important black man since Obama. Yeah, that's he's the most important. Damn, it wasn't like it was like when you say Obama, it's only been one Obama in the history of presidents, right? It's only been one black man or one black man or African white man since the history of Obama, right? Only one, right? Shedeur, there's a whole bunch of black. I mean, they got a lot. They have like 14 black quarterbacks when it used to be about three or two. A, 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 a lot of black quarterbacks in the NFL is five black. If you get five of them, because that was ridiculous in the NFL. Most of the time, you'd be lucky to have one. I'm talking about in the entire league. But now they got like what 14, and if you watch college football, they're gonna have a whole lot more. They're gonna have a whole lot more. There's a bunch of them in college football that are going to go pro. The guy who's playing for Oregon now, he's better than Dylan Gabriel. He's better than Dylan Gabriel. He was backing Gabriel up. Now he's playing. That dude's better than. He's gonna go pro. He's gonna go pro. Uh, Beck. Is it? Yeah, I think it's Beck. Beck in Miami. Oh, come on. He'll probably be the first overall pick. Shedeur's popularity is consistent with the black experience. The oppression, and that's what it was, that Shedeur endured during the draft. It's almost like it was set up to be this way, man. Um, he was deliberately held back because of what? He was arrogant by their interpretation. Not he couldn't read defenses, not he couldn't play, not he wasn't a good teammate. No, he was feeling himself. He was arrogant. They said that ignoring that, look at his father. You know, isn't that how the black man is detached? The black family is the black family has never been recognized as a family. It's recognized as individuals and their contributions to America or to white society. It's never been the family of. And that's how they look at black people. It's the same thing with that Sandra, what was her name? I haven't seen that woman in Sandra Bullock. She played the role of the Blind Side. Sandra Bullock, and they've been sued since then. Sandra Bullock acted in a movie where she played the mother of a Ole Miss football offensive lineman, and how she saved him. Go look at the movie. And this is what the black people have a problem with. She quote unquote saved him from his mother in the ghetto. She took him to a better environment. She raised him as a family. Go look at the movie. See, you see, this is one thing, guys. Guys will come up and they'll say you're a victim. They'll say you making stuff up or you're exaggerating. Go look at the movie. Go and look at. I think the movie won an Oscar. That movie won. Let me see. Did The Blind Side win an Oscar? Right here. Yep. The year of Obama, 2010. Barack Obama, the year he ran for president, The Blind Side won Best Actress, Sandra Bullock, and Best Picture. Best Picture. This is what I'm saying. This was America. This is the society we live in. This is how they viewed the black man. You had a black man, and I watched the movie once. I won't watch it again. I still have a problem with that movie. I said, damn. There's a scene where she knocks on his mother's door. And she basically tells his mother, this is what she did, told his mother, your son is with me now. And I'm looking at this. I was like, well, that's his mom. And I said, so wait a minute. So she went to the projects, told a black woman, your son belongs to me. And I said, if you look at that movie, that woman needed some help. I said, did you see any help being sent down? Was it any type of intervention, anything done to try to get them back together? I said, how you just going to take them? And it's in the movie. Because uh, um, she said something. I got to go and look at the exact scene. They wrote a script where she said something, but still, you can't take a person's child, and that's basically what she did. And I said, man, they just go. I said, damn, she just took that kid, and I'm like, I'm a black man. I'm like, what about that? What about his mom? And I said, so he goes on to the pros. What about his mom, though? I'm just saying, like, don't he give a damn about his mom? And I said, that's how they. I said, they don't even see black people as humans. See, that's really the truth. That's see, this Shedeur thing is pulling the scab off the wounds of our society. That's what people don't want to do. Because see, when they recognize Shedeur, they got to recognize his father. And they're not in the business of recognizing black families. They want to recognize a Shedeur by himself. They want Shedeur to go out, make a bunch of babies, run off on the women. They want Shedeur to be the stereotypical nigger. They want him to throw his money away on material things, meaningless things. They want him to do that. They want him to throw all his money away. America, brother, society. Look, I dropped the link. I'm gonna have to start blocking you guys if you guys don't want to join. You can offer your opinion up here. It's just a movie. Isn't that something that's just a movie? No, it was based on a real story. And the guy it was based on, he since sued them for that because he disagreed with a lot of ways it was portrayed, but it was billed as a true story, a true depiction of how he came into the NFL. And it was more about Sandra Bullock. She won Best Picture. I mean, she won an Oscar for that. And he said he got nothing from that. He said he turned around. He got none of the rights, none of that. The family sold his story and locked him out of the money. And he said he's estranged from that family. The family that quote unquote raised him, he don't even mess with them no more. For other reasons, money reasons and stuff. They was trying to get money off him. He said his brother owned a laundromat. I know he was sleeping in a laundromat. I don't know that his brother owned a laundromat. I know he would go in there and go to sleep. He said the Steelers going to win the division. No, this might be the year that don't happen, man. Have they played the Ravens? Because they got to play them twice, right? I don't know if they played. They might have played them. I don't know. I haven't been keeping up with it. He said sports in general haven't been the same since they took it away during COVID times. We banned sports. Sports in general hasn't been the same. I don't even know why I read it. Anyhow, well, it's back now, brother. It's 100% back now. They're having sellout arenas and everything, bro. Here we go. We got a lot of trolls in here, bro. All these trolls come from. And as Shedeur gets better, there's going to be more anger. There's going to be more anger. And I'm watching his career. I'm looking forward to Shedeur. I think Shedeur is going to make me some money. And I'm talking about maybe a $50 bet or something like that. Nothing big. Just and I'm put it on Shedeur. And he'll double it for me. And he'll be fine. And it's good that the NFL in America has to recognize a black family. Not only that, a black man that's out of the traditional role of a black woman, a black man raising his kids while being an athlete, while understanding their needs, also saying, "Hey, I'll coach my son," sacrificing, saying, "If I let my son around these coaches, they'll mess his head up." And also, I get to be with him, and I'm rich. I'll take a couple of days off, and look at what it's turned into. He got like a $42 million contract from Colorado, so he's well paid there. Probably moved into that mansion. They had went. The kids were showing him another mansion. I think it was for like 24 million, and he's the one he's in is like 8. And he was talking about, should I, go ahead and get this? Was this thing in Colorado, man? This thing had it was by a wildlife preserve. I mean, it was lakes, deer, and bears, and everything you can think of. Man, man, and he was showing his view. Man, man. No, I'm just saying, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable the way he was living. It's literally unbelievable. If you could get a house like that, man, that was a nice place in Colorado in the mountains. Man, that was a nice place, man. It was a nice mansion, but then the back of it, then they had a golf court. I mean, had a pool, basketball court, um, workout, like a little cover. He had a little work place to work out. It was covered, and it had a little trail about the size of a high school track. They can get out there and work out. And then they had some things. There wasn't a fence. There was some things where they know how to keep the animals away so that you don't wake up and a bear's in your house. But yeah, but man, that view, man. And it was also by mountains. You could see the mountain. You can go climb on the mountains. That's how it was set, like right in the middle of that. Whoever put that together knew they was gonna make some money, bro. So he's probably got that now. And and another thing about Shedeur, I mean Dion, is he's gonna wear his chain. He's gonna wear his chain. He's gonna go on 60 Minutes. He's gonna go in front of the world. He's gonna go in front of the world, and he's gonna make it be known. His son don't have to kiss nobody's ass. He worked hard so that they wouldn't have to do that. And he don't think anybody should do it, but he's saying that they don't have to do it. He said Baker Mayfield was a bust for the Browns, and so was Johnny Manziel. Okay, probably they're not Shedeur Sanders. And look, we got to get Baker. They got beat. The Bucks. I think he got hurt. They didn't. No, he fell on his shoulder. Yeah, nobody touched him. I saw that. Yeah, he threw the football. Weird. It's weird too. He throws the football, and some kind of way stay going forward and falls on his shoulder. That was weird, man. Right before the half, I don't know if he came back. He's doing well. He'll get his money. He'll get his money. I don't know what you're talking about. Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. Baker Mayfield's a good quarterback. I don't keep up with Cleveland football so that I can sit back and say Johnny Manziel didn't get this, didn't get that. Baker Mayfield didn't get this. I just don't keep up with it like that. So I have no idea what happened at Cleveland. They got traded. I know Baker got traded to the Rams, the Panthers. Yeah, he's been around, man. Now he's in Tampa. And maybe they'll get a Super Bowl. Maybe. The word on Tampa is this though. they only play good with bad teams. That was the word. They said that uh, Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay went and played the rate. Tampa Bay, Tampa Bay went and played the Raiders. I mean the Rams. That the Rams just a much better team, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers just when they play the good teams, when they play Detroit, when they play the good teams, they're going to either struggle or they're going to lose, and that's what they did. They got blown out by the Rams, and then when they play the Falcons or they play the Colts, they played teams like that, the Jets. They'll beat those teams, and they'll give you the impression that Baker Mayfield, is such a great quarterback and all that. I think he's a good quarterback, though. I think he's okay. But I get that part too. That he's got to do it against good competition. He's got to do it against good competition. Until he does that, there's really nothing to say. Mike Evans, I saw that. That was going for a bad Baker Mayfield. Was that Mike? Was that or was that the backup? I saw Mike Evans. Was that Baker Mayfield? He threw a high ball, and Mike tried to grab. He tried to grab that thing, man, and fell right on his shoulder. I think no, he caught that. I think he caught it. He caught it. He caught it. Fell right on his shoulder, man. Bro, let me tell you something. These racist dudes, you can stay here, but you got to join the link. Why these dudes keep trying to come in here telling me about, bro? What you? Who you think you? I'm a fucking veteran, bro. I fought for this country. I protected this fucking country. Will Levis, okay, Will Levis, my mistake. I protected this country. These fucking racist idiots sitting on YouTube talking about it. Yeah. Racism don't exist no more. You playing a victim. You a victim. You a victim. Have you ever done anything for the country? They've done nothing. Probably didn't even vote. He went to Amazon and he purchased a MAGA hat. Yeah, you done your duty, man. You're the perfect citizen, and you're white. Let me say, and see, it's because of guys like you that Shedeur is going to wind up becoming more and more popular. The more you guys ignore reality, the bigger he's going to get. Now, this is about a family. This is about a powerful, wealthy family. His kids are now in the NFL. His kid's not getting any favoritism. One got the fifth round pick, the other one was undrafted. And now he's going to play against, if he's still with Tampa, I don't know if he is. If Shiloh's still with Tampa, they're going to play against each other. Hey, that'll be something. Shedeur versus his brother. Shedeur versus his brother. He said they let Shiloh go. Okay. So much for Shiloh. Shiloh's going to be look like he's going to be a Twitch. He's like he's getting into streaming. And there's a Shedeur's got. I mean, yeah, Shedeur's got a knack for it too. I hope he don't overdo it, but Shiloh's finna get into streaming. Look at this. This shows you how somebody we're talking about Shedeur. He says Obama deported more children and illegals than any other president in history. Your point? What's your point? And Obama didn't do it. His administration did it. Act like Obama was out riding around in immigration trucks, jumping out the truck. Long as they don't get my Gardner, man, we good, bro. I got it. Matter of fact, I got a bunch of leaves out here. I need to. I got that little leaf blower though. I got the blower. I've never. It's still in. It's right there. It's just still in the box. I don't know how to. I know you blow them, but where do you blow them? I mean, where do you blow the leaves at? You blow the leaves onto the street. What do? You just yeah. I got a corner. I think I'm gonna blow them up in this. I got this little corner. I'm gonna blow them just because I never used this thing, and it got cold real quick. At the end of the day, Shedeur brings a bravado that is often taken from the Negro. And I can see, look, Kendrick Perkins says that he's more popular or as popular as Obama. And Dion got the hood. Dion was telling the world the hood, you know, they like him. They like him. They like Dion. So a lot of people, a lot of people are going to have to deal with that powerful family and seeing them, and he's going to win games. He's going to win games. And if he gets, and it looks like he almost, if he gets those guys, the Miles Garrett's, if he gets that defense on his side, it's over. They don't need the coach. You can circumvent the coach now. You can basically take the coach now works for Shedeur. And it looks like I don't know if he's there yet. He's on his way. And winning changes a team, especially a team that's loses a lot. It changes the way it changes a team. And that city is starved for a winner. If he starts to win, and I don't know where are they at? Are they in Cleveland? Do they play San Francisco in Cleveland? Let me see. Let's see. Where are they playing? Is it at San Francisco? No, it's they're going to be in Cleveland. Yeah, they're going to be in Cleveland, and he'll have to go out and he'll prove himself. I predict he'll have a wonderful game. They'll beat the 49ers. 49ers got problems with the quarterback, Brock Purdy and Matt Jones. Purdy was terrible Monday night. McCaffrey won that game. Purdy played like trash. He threw three picks, and they still won the game. So he's not going to be able to, if he throws interceptions against Cleveland, they're going to lose that game. And he's not going to be able to drive the football like he did against, and McCaffrey's not going to be able to run on Cleveland like that. This is setting up where Shedeur Sanders is going to win this game. He's going to have a wonderful game, and it's going to tamp down on the narrative that the Negro has to come from these humble beginnings. A lot of people say, and we've seen people say, I think Byron Donalds, he said the Negro was better off under Jim Crow. So there's a narrative. They believe the black man needs to be put through something, needs to be pressured, needs to be put into oppressed. When you oppress the Negro, you hurt. It's like squeezing juice out of an orange. some of them you're going to lose, but overall you'll get some of them that become really, really good. You'll get some of them who are good, and the strange thing about that is the Negro is not better off under oppression. The Shedeur Sanders and the black community is sort of catching on to it. They can come from the lap of luxury and still get out and perform and function and have no, and fit right in. And that's what Shador is doing. And look, hats off to Dion, like I said. And Dion ain't really a spokesman. You can see him when he does his press conference, speaking ain't his thing. But when you take a look at Shador, you can tell that he doesn't, he basically, and that's very, he hasn't told him anything. He just lets him talk. He says, son, this the way you explain it is the best way to explain it. You can do it. Now on that, I mean, when we disagree with a lot. Me and Dion we just have a lot of disagreements. I don't think that's a good idea. There's nothing wrong with knowing exactly what to say, and you got to deal with the media. And the media that look for things, and it's going to get hard for him to.
He will get coaching, Platt.
He's
He'll
come.
get coached.
What's up with you, bro?
I was just saying he's gonna get coaching. I know. I remember Michael Jordan distinctly getting, polishing classes, because when you look at Jordan when he first came into the league, he didn't speak particularly well. But as the years went on, he became a polished speaker, doing interviews and public announcements. And I honestly think that Shador will get that way.
I don't know about that, but
You don't think so?
nah. I mean, that speaking, and that's one thing you can say to Jalen Hurts. And a lot of athletes will do this. Jalen Hurts, that ain't his really thing. He has to do the press conference, but
Right.
public speaking ain't his thing. And then if you press him on it, he'll say, "Well, I'm here to play basketball. I didn't really get hired to be a public speaker. I'm here to play basketball.
It's
I'm
all
here to
part
play.
of the
I'm here
job.
to play football. My fault. My football."
It's all part of the job. And when you take on that quarterback position, you are the spokesman, the de facto spokesman for the team, besides the head coach, of course. So I think he'll get better. I look at people like Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts, and I agree with you. They don't speak the best, but they kind of know their lane. I'm
Mhm.
hoping though, I hope that they will get better, because it's always good to see a brother up there, leading the team, hopefully to another Super Bowl victory, maybe for Jalen or Lamar, and being able to, express themselves in a way that people be like, hey, oh, that Negro, he's articulate. Didn't
Mhm.
Joe Biden say that about Obama?
Mhm.
They love that, so, but it's Platt, I don't think we'll ever have a situation where we'll all agree uh, the way that Shador is carrying themselves. Because based on the conversation we had the other day with Do Business, it's a lot of black people just man. I mean, if he's not yes, the boss, in a way, or with his, he's not very expressive. They don't want to see him wearing those gold chains. They don't want him, shaking his neck. They just want him to be buttoned up, a
Well, that's
corporate guy.
that's not. But Dion's not like that now. I think. Yeah, he's gonna always play with jewelry on, and
They don't want it. They think that Jason. I listened to one of his harshest critics, Jason Whitlock, and I try to listen to Whitlock to understand the opposing view, and he's saying, well, Dion has set his son up for failure because Shador won't be able to sustain. Shador won't be able to sustain uh, the hype. And he's saying basically Dion, when he came to Colorado, he wasn't able to sustain the hype based on this down year. I think it's incredibly
well,
unfair. But that is the criticism that a
No,
lot of people
well,
have.
well, oh, well, if it's unfair, it's not criticism. It's just hating because if it's unfair.
Well, this is what you
But
got to
wait a minute.
do. You got to deal with
Look,
it.
wait a minute. Well, hold on. Look,
Uh huh.
listen. Um, I been wagering for years.
Yeah.
I keep up with this stuff off to the side, not basketball, but the NFL and college. We got the college playoffs finna come on. Notre Dame. I'm gonna make me some
Yeah.
money. Make me some
Yeah.
money with my boys, the Fighting Irish, right? So, and
Yeah.
I could put a game to be on right now. I could be online. So it's saying it's not interfering with anything I do. But what I'm saying, because the game they're gonna tip off no matter what. It's not based on me. But D Dion and his son and the impact that they're going to have in Black America is, man, I don't, it's going to be somewhere similar to Ali, Muhammad Ali. And Shedeur Sanders is a young Ali. And I'm telling you, they're going to beat the 49ers. Look, this stuff, I keep up with it. Him and the way he plays, you got to remember, they've been trying to take it out of him with the so-called coaching. But when he breaks away from that, and I think he's gonna break away from that, he's gonna start just doing stuff. He's gonna start just play the game. Son, just play the game. You don't have to worry about somebody telling you do this, do that. You go out and you play the game. I know you can play. Throw it to the open man. You know who another guy who is in the Hall of Fame who played like that? Dan Marino. And there's
Oh well,
questions.
yeah.
There's question if he can even read. You know, we make these broad assumptions with these guys that they can read and write. Some of them guys can't even read. And Dan Marino never memorized the playbook. You know why? He never had nobody who's going to make him do it.
Well, his first
He
coach was
said
Don Shula. Don Shula didn't play that.
he didn't play what? I don't think did he play for Dan Marino? Did Dan Marino play for Shula?
Yeah, Dan Marino. The only Super Bowl that he made it to was under Don Shula in '83 or
Well,
'84.
he didn't read the
'84.
playbook. He came out. He told people he didn't even read the playbook, and he said, they said, "What did you do?" He said, "I threw to the open man." He said, after a while, it's got tired of all of that. He said, I knew the plays, but I didn't really have to care that much. I just threw to the open man. I go back and look at it and throw. And I said, damn. Because a lot of times they won't let you get on there if you don't know a playbook.
Not at all. Unless you had the complexion for the protection. Damn, I didn't know that. I didn't know Marino said that.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And when you think about bad coaching, how it ruins a player, that's genius of Dion to protect him like that, to keep him away from. He said, I'm his coach. He'll do what I tell him to do. Then he tells his son, just be you. You don't need, look, son, get on that football field and do what I know you can do. And that's the way
because some of those, you're right, because some of those towel head coaches probably wanted to convert Dion. I think I'm going to move him out to the X. He's got the perfect size for a wideout, slot receiver. That's what they love to do. Didn't they do that to Cordell Stewart?
No, he and Cordell didn't play, but they do that. Traditionally, they have done that to quarterbacks. I think Jerry Rice was a quarterback in like college or something
Mississippi
like
Valley State. I don't know, but I
think
do know Cordell Stewart. They did it to Brad Smith, who played for the Jets. They tried to do it they wanted to do it to Warren Moon, and Warren Moon said, forget it, man, I'm going to Canada. I'm playing quarterback.
Yep. Warren Moon had to sacrifice 5 years in Canada. Just think about it. Do you want to go 5 years in Canada? You got to go live over there and play three down football.
That's
and
crazy.
he won a bunch of Grey Cups, and then he came to Houston. But it took that. Never said, and this is what people don't understand. This is what these dudes in this channel who keep coming up here hating. Black people have to go through these journeys. They shouldn't have to go through this. You're talking about Warren Moon. What was that, the 70s or 80s? What, 80, 83, 84? A black man having to go to a different country because he can't be treated fair in America?
After leading Washington to a Rose Bowl victory,
Uh-huh.
he can't play quarterback. He's not smart enough. You know, the trope that they try to throw on Shedeur. He just doesn't know that he can't learn the playbook. You know, that's another, you know what they're going with when they say something like that, and that's the narrative that a lot of them try to say. Well, guys, he just doesn't know the playbook. He's slow. Like
Yeah.
you
Well,
know, riding the short bus.
Yeah, he could be. But see, the thing about it, as a head coach, because you got to get backups, right? Say you put your backup in, he may not know the playbook, but as a head coach, don't nobody care. They want him to get on the field. He got to go execute. So a coach will say, "Well, what plays do you know?" He said, "I know red zone. I know all the red zone plays, and I know half the running back play." So the coach got to get out there and say, "We can't do it now. It's doing the game, or put another player in." You got to go with what he knows. You got to run the plays he knows. You can't run the plays he don't know.
That's right.
So you got to run that. So Shedeur is on the cusp of, and I don't know how it's going to be received.
If he wins, winning cures all. If he continues to win, and say the Browns win 4 out of their last 6 games, that's all he needs.
He'll win all the rest of his games, man. They're looking at going 6-6. I mean 6.
If they do,
6-7 or 8-7, 7-7.
If they win all 6 of their games, they'll go 9-8.
9-8. Well, they're going to win. They're going to win all the rest of their games, man. Remember, I said it here. I said, bro, Cleveland. Now, look, do I think Cleveland is some type of unstoppable force in football? Historical? No, I don't. I think that I think that they could beat the teams. They had nobody in front of them. And the way the 49ers, what you got to remember, 49ers, what's going on now is Purdy threw them 3 picks. Now they won because of Metcalf, and they won because of the defense. But Purdy threw 3 picks. I'm telling you, something is going on with him. This is a guy who never turns the football over. He comes back.
They need to go back to Mac Jones, man.
And just by doing that, that's enough doubt on a football team where a team like Cleveland can sneak in there and beat them. Because
you think Shanahan will go back to Mac Jones?
What is he going to do? Is he going to do it against Cleveland? You know what I'm saying? Is he going to do it during the game time? What is he going to do? He's doing through
before the game.
Well, I don't know.
Mac Jones in there.
Oh, I think Mac Jones is better than Purdy at this moment. I don't know what's going on with Purdy. But see, people got to understand, a quarterback can have a good year and come back the next year, and that's what it's called. Things just normal out. It's the way we are as human beings. A quarterback who, just look at Pat Mahomes. You can be exceptional early in your career, and then slowly you start getting worse and worse. And if you start to look at his averages, they come down, because then now it's like Pat Mahomes been in the league 10 years. The last 5 years have been terrible. Well, it evens out with the first 5 being great.
Well, that's because the defensive coordinators. The coordinators got a book on them.
Yeah.
They know how to scheme for him. Oh, he likes to do this in this situation. You know, he likes to fake like he's going to, and then he's going to throw a side on. Be aware for it. So they all know. They study him.
Well, yeah, and Andy Reid, and I say it's Bieniemy. Since they lost Bieniemy, they've been playing like trash. Now, they've been in the Super Bowl, but that's Andy Reid's little 3 yards in a cloud of dust. That's Andy Reid. He's been playing when Kansas City plays scared like they've been playing, they lose. They don't play.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is yet to have a game where he throws 5 touchdowns. They used to do.
They
They
don't even have the
spotted.
personnel like that. They don't
No,
have the they don't
they
have the
got some
weapons.
they got some wide receivers. They got some wide receivers. They got some guys that can go deep.
Yeah, but it's a different with that cheetah. That cheetah brought a whole nother element to the
Or
game.
they let them go. They let them
Yeah,
go.
big mistake. Big
But
mistake.
what I'm okay. But the thing about that is even a bad team, even throughout in the NFL and sometimes in college, even a bad team. When you say college, your homecoming week, when they pull a doormat onto the field, someone that they know they're going to beat, yeah, they'll highlight the quarterback. They'll highlight the running back. Running back have 200 yards against them. Quarterback will have
Right.
5 touchdowns. Pat Mahomes, because I've been waiting on. I said he's yet to have a 4 touchdown game. He's yet to have it. He never has games like that. He's an accurate deep thrower, but they're not. They're scared to throw the ball. They throw uh, uh, little crossing routes and run the football and kick field goals and try to get out with a victory. But see, in the
Yeah.
long run, you can't win a championship. You'll get you to the playoffs, but you can't win a championship playing like that.
I don't think Kansas City makes it out of the AFC division this year. I think Denver beats Kansas City in a playoff game.
Mm. Yeah, Denver
Sean
and
Payton
New.
is.
Yeah,
I
do
don't
it.
like Sean Payton, but he's a good coach, man.
Um, they're playing good, man. They're playing
They're
well.
playing good. Um. Also, I wanted to go back to Shedeur. I think we need to give the a great assist to that general manager, man. He's also educated. You know that Coach Stefanski. I
Oh,
think he went to Penn, but the
mm-hmm,
general manager, the brother Barry,
mm-hmm,
he's Ivy League educated also, and he out witted that coach because you know that coach when he benched Flacco, he was gonna keep Flacco as the second string quarterback, and he was gonna keep Shedeur at third. The brother
mm-hmm.
knew, Barry knew. He was like, "Nah, partner, we're gonna give Flacco. Joe, you still want to play? We're gonna trade you somewhere where you can make a difference. You you think Cincinnati is cool with you? Send him right up there to Cincinnati. Forced Stefanski to put Shedeur as second string. The brother wanted him to play all along. He's Andrew Barry's pick. Stefanski didn't really want it, but he has no choice now.
Mm-hmm. And
Perfect timing.
when you look at Jerry Rice, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you
Mm-hmm.
look at him at the combine, he doesn't stand out.
Nope.
His numbers are consistent with the other wide receivers. There are some that are faster than him. His route running was consistent with the but when he got on the football field, it was a difference. He made a big difference the way he played the game. In fact, they've said that they've timed him. He's faster on the football field. When he's catching a pass, he got speed that he doesn't even know he has. He'll go get the football, but if you put him in a 40, he can't run that fast.
Yeah, he
Because
was like a 4.5,
yeah,
4.6, 40 guy.
yeah, yeah. But when he got on the football field, he was beating guys. He was outrunning defenders who ran faster 40s and catching the football over them. And that's how he plays. And that's the way Shedeur Sanders is. You can't judge him like that. You got to look at him on the field. When he gets on the field, he he just plays in a way where he just doesn't lose. I watched him do that in Colorado. You got to understand. Dion came there. He brought his son. I didn't keep up with them at Jackson. I'm looking at
Right,
that. They're playing TCU. I'm all over TCU. I'm all
right.
over TCU. TCU got beat by Georgia in the championship. They're playing the Colorado Buffaloes, and the new coach is Dion and his kid. I'm all over TCU. I'm like, man, I need to go take a loan out on my house and put it on this TCU game. I didn't do that, but I lost because I did have TCU. And then I saw, Travis Hunter and all. I saw the way they were playing. And then I watched another game And I said, man, look how this team. I said, this dude right here, this quarterback, this guy will throw in the coverage. This guy pushes the ball down the field. I said, this guy's not afraid of throwing the football. I said, look at it. Even
Right.
even when he's under pressure, he'll lay it up there, and his receivers were getting it. And he won a lot of games. Colorado actually has a better defense than they've ever had. They've never had a defense like they have now. When Shedeur was there, they didn't have a defense like this. Whoever these players they got a defense. They just don't have a quarterback. They have a defense. Now they got blown.
They giving up 45 points.
The quarterback, brother. The quarterback kept turning the ball over.
Juju?
Yeah, this new guy, this freshman guy, he kept turning the football over. He kept fumbling. He kept 3-and-outing them. They kept getting short fields.
Damn.
That's how they were getting beat. That's why they wind up giving that much. They got a decent defense. They just don't have the ability to put points on the board. If they could drive, check this out. When you got a good defense, if your offense can get on the field and take 4 minutes off the clock and get a touchdown, guess what? Your defense gets a chance to rest. If you got a bad offense, your defense gets off. You get the ball. 3 and out, that's about a minute. Your defense got to get back out there. And they got to do that over the whole game. So eventually they're going to crumble. That's anybody's defense. They can't play the whole game. We got wide receivers going deep every play. That's going to tire out any cornerback. That's just human nature. We're going to get tired. We're going to get slower. And then you got guys ramming you and trying to run you over. And then your offense is not you. Like, you get pissed off, man. What are we playing this hard defense for? The offense can't take it. They can't take advantage of it. They can't put points on the board.
I can't understand why Deion can't get no dogs on that offense and defensive line. Some good offensive tackles.
They're in demand.
Know what I'm saying?
Well, they don't want to go there.
I don't understand. I mean, you playing with Coach Prime, man.
The only way
he gonna get you to the league.
There you go.
You know them people in the league.
There you go, Mike. There you go. The only way I would go and play for Deion, the only way, is if I knew that would get me into an NFL camp. Now,
and it will.
No, that's the only way I do it. If I know that he got some connects, and if I go and I play offensive tackle for him, I'm going to get some tryouts. I don't have to get drafted, but they're going to call me up to this team, and I'm going to get a tryout, and then I'll hang around, and maybe I'll wind up on the NFL. I'll bounce around. I'll wind up getting the job in the NFL. Yeah, I go there. But see, most of those tackles, they're with the good schools. They're with the USC. They're with the Tennessee. They're with the Georgia. They with
Alabama.
They with those teams because they play on television every week, and and now you got the playoffs, right? So this is like a 4-game audition for anybody for you to get drafted. Playing these playoffs, then you play in the championship game, and then boom. So this
would go ahead.
This is a rare. That's why Deion's not going to have spectacular tackles. Now, this freshman quarterback, I don't know who this guy is, but he's not ready.
Juju. Yeah, he's not.
And I think, a lot of people don't like when I say this. I think he was winning because of his son. I think he was winning because of Shedeur.
Oh, now, I agree with you. I agree.
I keep up with this stuff. I'm telling you, man. And I was telling guys, I said, man, it's not easy to coach in college football. I said, Nick Saban. I said, yeah, they wanted to get rid of him after losing 2 games. I said, man, you know how hard it is to coach in college football. Plus, he had to beat Georgia. Yeah. You want to play Georgia? Go beat Georgia. He got to go beat Georgia. He can't even have a Georgia loss on his record. He got to have no losses. That's the SEC football. Look at Texas A&M, 11-0.
I can't believe it.
To play Texas. They need to play. If they beat Texas, they're gonna win a championship, bro.
You know they're not gonna beat Texas. They're gonna let Arch Manning win. They're gonna let that go. That Arch Manning, he gonna
I don't
win.
know. I would.
And,
They ain't that
and so
bad,
if
bro. Nah,
so, what's gonna happen
they got
is
an
if
offense, man. They got an offense.
Arch Manning them beat Texas A&M, that's gonna let them sneak in the back door to the playoffs also.
No, they got to go to the championship game.
Oh, the
No,
SEC.
there's no path. A&M will be in the championship game. Texas has no path because A&M is 11-0. They win
Well,
the
how many teams have Texas won? You know, they top 25
Texas is
teams
like 7-4,
and
7-3.
3.
Yeah,
7-3.
A&M's undefeated. So even if they beat them, they couldn't make it in. A&M would still be the representative for that, the east side or whatever, the south side of the SEC.
They're the west side of the SEC.
They'll be the west side, and then we'll see who the other team is. You know, I mean,
Texas,
Georgia looks like it's going to be Georgia.
Georgia is on the east, yeah. Vanderbilt might. I'm talking about for that
Nah,
that
they're gonna
college
be Vandy.
playoff.
Vandy got too many losses.
If Vandy beat I think Tennessee this upcoming week, they can make it. I heard Skip Bayless talking about, you know, he a Vanderbilt alumni.
Well, the problem with putting all those SEC teams in the playoffs is it's an admission that that's the best conference.
Oh, it is. It is.
Well, it is the best conference, but if you put all those SEC teams, you put Ole Miss in there and a 7-2 Vanderbilt. If you put all those teams in there, you might as well just say the SEC is the playoffs.
Well, they know it. Shit, Big Ten might get a couple. The championship, the champions in the Big 12, they'll get to go, but they all gonna get crushed, man. The SEC is where it's at. You know, I was bragging earlier about my Mizzou Tigers. Every game there was a toss-up game they lost. Could have beat Alabama, we lose to them. Could have beat Vanderbilt, we lose a close one to them. Kind of got dominated by A&M. So we never win those games.
You know what?
It's crazy.
You know what, Mike?
What's that?
I told you know, when you wager, sometimes you know a few people.
Yeah.
And so dude kept going against Vanderbilt. Now, I was on Vanderbilt last year when they got Diego when they got him. And they got they bought the offensive coordinator. Actually, they got the offensive coordinator, and he said, "Hey man, what about this quarterback?" And then he put them on to Diego.
Pavia.
Yeah, Pavia came there, and they liked them, and then they bought some other players from there, and they incorporated them. And then they got a defense too. That's another thing. People sleep on Vanderbilt defense. Vanderbilt got a defense, but that's the thing, right? This clown, he put out a play against Vanderbilt, and I said, against Vanderbilt, I said, damn. I looked at that. I said, no, I ain't doing that. I said, hell no. I said, I ain't betting against no Vanderbilt. So I didn't play Vanderbilt because I said, well, he said they're going to lose. I ain't going to play him. So, of course, they won. It was Auburn. He put Auburn to beat Vanderbilt. Vanderbilt, Prava. He kept making plays. They beat Auburn. Then he turned around, put out another play against, I think, he said, I think then they played Mizzou. He said, Mizzou gonna beat them. And I said, that's Mike team, that sorry ass Mizzou. They can't beat no Vanderbilt.
Man, we lost on a last minute inches play, man.
Sure enough,
17-10.
Sure enough, they didn't. But now he was saying they're gonna beat them. He's saying that he's saying there's some things about that team. And maybe it'll happen in the playoffs, but he's saying there's things about that team that they're overdue for a loss. And man, I just wouldn't bet against those
man,
teams,
Pavia and them ain't going nowhere, man. I tell you who's an overrated team is gonna get exposed, that Indiana team. And Indiana about to get shellacked against Ohio State. And I think Michigan's a better team than Indiana.
You think Michigan gonna beat Ohio?
That's gonna be until, you know, Brian Day, his job is dependent on that.
Nah. He won the championship. he good.
Yeah, he gotta avenge last year's loss though.
I wouldn't touch that game though.
Yeah, I ain't. I
If I
wouldn't.
was a gambler, I wouldn't touch that game.
You know who I'm taking in? You know who I'm taking in the points this in the parlay though? I'm gonna take State in the point on the points
You talking about
in
what
the
do you mean?
Egg Bowl.
Do you know
I'm
what
gonna take
about
State.
is Lane Kiffin staying?
I don't know, but see, that's how all of that plays into it. That's why I'm going to
Yeah,
say State with the points.
I don't trust State. And Ole Miss has not. They have disappointed. Um, uh, I got to see the line. That'll be Friday, right? I got to see the line. But
Yeah,
I
they.
take Ole Miss. I
Oh
take.
yeah, I'm just saying for the spread.
They
I
can't.
think
They can't. Ole Miss is. Ole Miss. They lost to Georgia. They went 3 rounds with Georgia. Lost in the fourth quarter.
right,
And they washed out. Um, Ole Miss. They didn't cover. There was a 50-point spread against somebody. It was 52 points, and they scored 48 points. And Lane Kiffin, I saw the game. Lane Kiffin took a knee. And I said, wait a minute, this is Lane Kiffin. I
he
said, I ain't
didn't.
never seen Lane Kiffin take no knee, man. I said, he'll be
Right,
trying to score to the end of the game. He'll be
right.
throwing deep. He'll be up by 50 points, having his quarterback throw deep 60-yard touchdowns if he can get them. They'll be trying to get him. But now he took a knee. So maybe he's leaving, man. And now this is where you got to look at it. If these coaches are leaving, that means they've already packed up their bags, their
Right.
offices. Also, all the assistant coaches, they have to tell them so that they can either you're coming with me or stay here. I put a recommendation. You're doing a great job, and they want you here. Stay here. So all of that, and that gets out to the world. So
Right.
if Lane Kiffin is leaving, I would take Mississippi State. If he's staying, I'd take Ole Miss to blow this out, because this is a only team playing. No, well, they're not the only team playing. This is a Friday night after Thanksgiving game. This is a tune-up. This is your last game before you go into the playoffs. If you get, there's nothing. You need to impress the playoffs. You got to impress these the people who choose these teams. So Ole Miss, not only do they have to win, they got to sort of blow them out.
I think he's gone, man. Ole Miss, Lane Kiffin going to LSU, man. They got more money.
Well, you ain't lying about that. They got some money there.
Money. Yeah.
All the SEC, all of them got money.
But see, Baton Rouge got that oil money coming in from those, out there in the Gulf pipelines, so they can pay a little bit more. So LSU definitely. I mean,
it's gonna be hard.
Nick Saban was there before.
Gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard for him to leave Ole Miss, though.
Man, he did everything he could. He did everything he could at Ole Miss. At LSU, he can get a different type of recruit.
But see, when you talk SEC football, you talk the South. It's just the South, right? It's a slave country, right?
No doubt.
Mississippi that's not like, you don't just coach there. That's a fraternity, man. That's like the Klan. And I hate to say it that way. That's like joining a group. It's going to be hard for him just to go to another SEC team after coaching Ole Miss, man. You pretty much got to go maybe to a Michigan or something like that. But and you're a good coach.
He did it already, though, Platt.
You can't. No. You talking about Tennessee? Tennessee and USC. I don't know what that was. That was because of his name.
Well, Tennessee.
No. That's Tennessee, and we're talking about Ole Miss. Ole Miss is different. Ole Mississippi is a different type of team. Ole Miss. You got to go there.
Tennessee won a championship. Ole Miss ain't never won a championship.
Tennessee is considered more mainstream America. Ole Miss is not. Ole Mississippi is considered stuck in the past, racist.
Yeah.
And they, they're the Ole Miss Rebels, and they had to change the name to I don't know what they call themselves, the Bears or something, but people still call them Rebels.
They
What
the
the
rebels.
hold up the rebels. What was the rebels? The Southern rebels, the Confederacy. So by
Yeah.
Lane, and they love Lane. This listen, man, because I keep up with this stuff. They absolutely love Lane Kiffin. They
Yeah.
love the way he plays.
Right.
He can't leave. They're not gonna let him leave Ole Miss, man. And go to
He
LSU.
gone, man.
He better go to
Going to
LSU.
LSU.
And I think
He gonna
this
take over.
Alabama coach, he better watch out. They might be looking for a coach there.
DeBoer. Yeah, he got
He
2
just lost
losses.
to Oklahoma.
Yeah, he lost to Oklahoma. They couldn't get it together. That quarterback was throwing interceptions. Ty Simpson.
Hmm.
Yeah, they kept on making the critical mistakes. We had Oklahoma down 3-0, and then all of a sudden we just start. I just man, Mizzou, we're gonna go 8-4 because we're gonna beat Arkansas. So we're gonna go 8-4, man. This was a season that could have been. We just, we can't
What's
get.
up
We
with you?
can get. Go ahead.
No. What's up with your brother Warren? What's up? No, I hear you, man. And look, let me apologize to you. You're a Mizzou fan. I've never met a Mizzou
I'm a
fan.
Mizzou alum. That gotta be a
What?
Mizzou guy,
I
man.
got you. I've never met a Mizzou fan. Now I know they're in the SEC.
Yeah.
The most famous thing they've ever done, it is they had that gay guy, Michael Sams. He got
Nah,
drafted
man.
by the Rams or
Anthony
whatever.
Peeler, man. AP. Doug Smith. We put guys in the NBA, man.
Okay. I never heard. I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I just don't. You the only guy. I mean, Mizzou. I just never heard anybody.
You know who went to Mizzou? Alden Smith.
I don't know what that is.
You used to play for the 49ers,
Okay.
defensive end. And then we also had
I
Justin
know you
Smith.
guys had you guys
Remember
put
Justin Smith?
Michael Sams. I know you
Oh,
guys.
come on, man.
He
What
played.
about what
Mike. Wait a minute. Michael Sams played for Mizzou
what about the
and
free
got
safety
drafted.
for we ain't talking about the free safety for the Atlanta Falcons, Willie Moe.
These guys never started, man. You talking about guys who just own the
Yeah, he
team?
started. He was the free safety
That
for the
man ain't
Falcons.
started from Willie Moe. I never heard of
Willie
that
Moe
before.
was the
They ain't
he
never
was the
had no
starting.
guy named Willie.
He was
Ain't
the
nobody
starting free
named Willie
safety
Moe.
for the
Ain't no such
Falcons.
thing as you made that up, Willie Moe.
No, his name is William Moore. He was the starting free
You
safety for the
ain't
Falcons.
never heard of this guy.
You never heard of Willie Moe?
No.
That's what we call him. You want me to have the AI tell you who he was?
Nah. Don't worry about it.
She'll talk to you.
James Feathers played for the Atlanta Falcons in 83 to 92. James Feathers. He was a backup defensive end. Just made that name up. I don't know who that is. You know what I'm saying? That's what
the Atlanta
he's doing.
Falcons. When did William
Moore
Moore play for the Atlanta Falcons?
Man, Missouri fan. You'll go 8-4. You'll go to your bowl game. Okay. Hopefully you'll win your bowl. How about that? I'll probably put a little money on Mizzou depending on who they play in their bowl game. Maybe not, huh? But SEC for me is Alabama, Georgia. Little Vanderbilt done jumped into there now. Alabama, Georgia. Hey, doesn't that guy for BYU, didn't that guy used to coach Vanderbilt?
I don't know about that, but you do know when Mizzou got into the SEC, we won the SEC East 2 years in a row, 2013 and 2014. 2013 and 2014.
Okay. Now, I didn't even know they went. I thought they were all of them. I didn't know they got let in. I thought all of them were always the same forever.
So, hey, Platt, William Moore played for the Falcons from 2009. He was drafted in the second round. He was a Pro Bowler in 2012. You know what I'm saying? He had 105 tackles, 74 solo, 4 interceptions, 4 tackles for loss, NFC Defensive Player of the Week, against the Saints. You know what I'm saying? So he played
He
with
said,
them all the way until 20. He retired in 2015 at 30.
he
Yeah,
said, um, Missouri's mistake was joining the SEC.
no, that was the only thing we could do because Texas, when they joined the Big 12, they started the Longhorn Network and they started taking all the money out of the Big 12. So we did try to go to the Big 10, but they chose Nebraska over us. So then Colorado went out to the Pac-10, them in Utah, and then so us and A&M went to the SEC. That's what happened. The first choice was the Big 10, but they chose Nebraska over us.
Okay, we both agree the SEC is the best conference. We
It's
both agree with that.
by
But
far, by far.
but the selection committee cannot because they got to represent the whole spectrum of football, all the conferences. They can't ignore conference. You're gonna have guys winning. You're gonna have teams winning the championship, right? And they're gonna wind up in the playoffs, but they're gonna get blown out because SEC football. See, that's one thing I do respect for Arch Manning. Now he did go to Texas. Texas really don't need him to win, right? So let's just be for real. He chose Texas. Texas is loaded. He didn't go to
That,
Tennessee. Tennessee is not as they don't have the defense or the offense that Texas. Texas has one guy. I mean, they got wide receivers. They got a guy named Wingo. That guy's a freshman. I've
yeah,
never seen a guy. This guy got world class speed. Um, if he gets behind you, it's over. He's got the 72-yard runs and stuff. They do a lot of screens to him, but him and Arch have a connection. That's like the freshmen. That's not even like the seniors or the juniors. They got good wide receivers, but that's like some dude that's a freshman.
yeah.
So Texas has a lot. But Eli, because of his name, and this is the sad thing, I guess, about our society. I don't know if we'll change or not. Eli's not going to encounter any of the problems that Shedeur is encountering.
Oh no, he's not.
None of them.
Hey, Platt, the top out of the top 10, the AP top 10, six out of the 10 teams are from the SEC. You got A&M, you got Georgia, you got Ole Miss, you got Oklahoma, you got Alabama, and you got number 10, Texas. Texas got 3 losses. Alabama got 3 losses.
but
Oklahoma got 3 losses. They in the top 10.
Notre Dame. Where's Notre Dame?
They're not in there. The number 1 team is Ohio State. Number
Where
2 is
where where
Indiana.
where is Notre Dame listed?
Let's see. Indiana lost the game.
Oh, Notre Dame lost 2 games.
I didn't know Indiana lost.
Who they lose to?
This says top 10 in college football AP as of November 26th. Who did they lose to?
I don't know. They be
Oh no,
messing
no,
up.
no. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong.
Yeah, they be
That's
messing up too.
that's wrong. But record poll.
No. What they're gonna do is they're gonna have the SEC championship game, and they'll either do this right here. They'll go with that whoever wins that, maybe the loser, maybe whoever wins that. Now, when you talk about now, we now you're gonna start having elimination right now with these games. When Georgia plays Georgia Tech, it's a very strong possibility. I don't think they're gonna do it. Georgia Tech might beat Georgia. The selection
No,
committee,
ain't no way. Ain't no way.
they might, they might.
Shit.
It's a,
Georgia gonna beat the.
no, they almost beat them last year. Almost beat them last year. Georgia got a fumble. They got a fumble in the fourth quarter. If they don't get that fumble, they lose. That quarterback, that quarterback, the same guy, he does all that running. He was killing them with that running. He tried to do that. They bought that safety up on a blitz, and he took him out, bro. They must have told him. They said, "Listen, we want you to get right there in that A zone, and if he runs that ball, you blow him up." And that safety is some white dude. He blew him up. Bam! That ball popped out. Georgia hopped on it. They scored. They came back like 21. They scored 20 points. Came back and won the game against Georgia Tech. So I don't trust Georgia Tech, but Georgia Tech should win that game.
Georgia Tech just lost to Pitt, man.
They should beat Georgia.
They just lost to Pitt.
What they got to do with Georgia?
Pitt is not as good as Georgia, man.
That day, Pitt was good. But we're talking about the game they play against Georgia, man.
They lost to Miami and they lost to Pitt.
That's an interstate game too. There's a rivalry. There's a familiarity that goes with Georgia versus Georgia Tech.
Oh, I get it. You a hater. You don't like the dogs, man. I get it.
These guys were playing against each other in high school.
You don't like them dogs, man.
A lot of the guys who couldn't make it for Georgia wind up going to Georgia Tech.
Yeah. Right.
So, and it's a personal thing. I think that they'll beat them. I think they'll beat Georgia. Georgia's okay. Georgia's a SEC team. Look, Kirby Smart, great coach. He got them boys ready to play. Am I a Georgia fan? I don't really have. I see this is the thing about the SEC. I really don't like any of them. I'm saying I don't dislike them, but I look and see which one is hot. I was a Bama fan when Saban was there, and I don't know what's happened to Bama. They're not the same team.
It's the coach. So Platt, Kirby Smart has only lost in his 10 years, his full 9 years at Georgia. He's only lost one time to Tech. And that was actually last year. They lost in 8 overtimes. 44-42.
Tech beat them last year?
Yeah, 44-42.
I got a bad memory.
The only blemish is a wild 44-42, 8 overtime loss in 2024, which has been considered one of the biggest upsets in clean, old-fashioned hate history. I guess that's what they call their rivalry. So, yeah, he lost last year. So they got a lot, they got a long memory about that. You best believe them dogs they're gonna be ready to.
Look,
they're gonna be ready.
Georgia has a good team. Georgia got a good team. Alabama got a good team. A&M, a team who I pay no attention to. They got it. They're undefeated. South Carolina. Look, you got some good.
South Carolina is not good.
I know that. Well, they got good talent. You got some.
Yeah, they got sellers.
You got good talent in the SEC.
Yeah,
it's good football. It's a little bit too much for me. I don't really care for that. I don't care for the cutthroat, bust your ass every down. That's SEC football. I can look at the Big 12. I can look at the Big 10. I can look at those others. I can look at USC. It's a different type of football, a little bit wide open. You look at Oregon. Oregon, they pass the ball. They throw the ball down the field. They're more of an offensively talented team. It ain't about knocking the other guy out, So I can watch those teams. SEC, Texas, Arch, Texas. He needs to come back next year. He needs another year. But hats off to Archie. Hats off to Archie, man. You want to talk about how to develop a quarterback? This man, not only did this man put 2 of his sons in the NFL, he's about to put his fucking grandson. And that was Archie, man, and who came out before the beginning at the 5th and said, Arch will be back next year. And Arch said, I don't know what he's talking about. Now that's Archie. That's Arch. The grandson said, I don't know what he's talking about. He knew he wasn't ready. So he came out publicly and said it. The newspapers picked it up. He said, I don't know what grandpa's talking about. Grandpa knows you need another year. If he
everybody's seen that after watching the Georgia versus Texas game the first week of the season. Oh, he ain't ready. He needs another year. Hey, Platt, you know what?
Actually, he did. Actually, if you want to be, he played Ohio State.
That's what I know. I said Ohio State, first game of the season.
He said Georgia.
No,
but
everybody knew after that game.
Well, okay. Arch Manning played mediocre against Ohio State. But who doesn't play mediocre against Ohio State? And also, they only lost by 3 points. Was it 10-3? 10
But
to
he
3?
was supposed to
10 to
be the
4?
Heisman hopeful.
I'm done.
He's
Well,
trash.
that's what they did. I'm saying he actually, you want to be honest, he actually didn't play bad against them. He missed a lot of passes. They should have beat Ohio State. He missed a lot of passes. Them guys were, oh, man, see, this is what I'm saying. If you watch the stuff, man, Texas got a team, man. Man, if I watch Texas play, man, all them dudes be wide. Them wide receivers so fat. All them dudes like 6 feet. Them dudes super fast. Them dudes can play in the NFL right now. They got a freshman. This dude's out of high school. This dude is, if this dude went to Pittsburgh, he'd be the best wide receiver on that team. That dude's a damn freshman.
So wait a minute, man. You said Arch Manning had a good game or a decent game against
Yeah, he had a decent game against them. When you look at them, look at that the fucking Ohio State undefeated. Nobody has a good game against them.
he had one interception, one touchdown, pass for under 200 yards, 17 for 30 on 10 rushing
Against
attempts.
Ohio State, I wouldn't pay that no attention. When you start talking about him fucking up, generally, he does need another year. I agree with you on that. You said Texas A&M. Okay, let him beat them. Okay, if they beat Texas A&M, I want him to have 4 touchdowns. I want him to beat them. All right. Don't tell me about the running back. Don't tell me about Texas defense. That's what I'm saying. We're ignoring that. Man, Texas is not an easy team to beat. The way he built that team up, that team is built. If it wasn't for bad officiating, they would have went to the championship. They made a lot of mistakes, man. Texas, I watched Texas. I've made money with Texas. I've lost money with Texas. I'm telling you, man, that team is A&M. A&M need to be more focused on beating Texas than winning a championship. Because if they can't beat Texas now, they'll still go, but they'll go with a loss. They'll go into the championship game with a loss. They probably won't even get invited to the playoffs, depending on how much they lose by. And they don't, the playoffs isn't just the top 25. They go by the champ. If you go and win your conference, you get an automatic bid. You're going to be in the playoffs.
That's true. That's true.
So that means all of those SEC teams, are not necessarily going to be in the playoffs. All those SEC teams will not be invited because they can't invite them. They might invite 2, possibly 3. And Notre Dame's going. Notre Dame, they're a winning team, and they've been blowing people off the map. They're going to invite Notre Dame. If you notice this last week, a lot of these teams are making statements. They're having statement wins. They're not just winning the games. They're trying to take the top off. They're destroying these teams. So they want that selection committee to take a second look at them, because that's what they want to put, the best teams, but not just SEC teams. They represent the nation. SEC don't represent the nation. They got to put up. I mean, I don't know USC. I don't know their. They're gonna have to look out there and find something out with maybe Oregon. They're gonna have to bring somebody in so that the West Coast is sort of represented. There's somebody out there winning, and they did a good job last year. We'll see what they do this year. I'm looking at the NBA, man. Some dude just knuckled up. Is that the NBA or that college? Damn. Penn State, that Penn State? No, that's Philly and the Mavericks. Niggas got into a fist fight on a basketball court. And the dude drumming, he got a nappy head. Bro, we know we something else, don't it, bro? This brother got a nappy head. It's deliberately nappy, but he out there throwing. He just threw a punch. Woo. That's something else, ain't it, man? Like the stream, no Espanol, no Spanish. That's no English, right? Yeah, no Spanish, Angel. We don't speak of Spanish. Like the stream, man. Where my moderators at? Where my mods at? Like the stream, man. Share the stream. We trying to figure this thing out, man. Shedeur Sanders has been named the starter. Kendrick Perkins has come out and declared Shedeur Sanders the most popular black man since Obama. He leads a movement and he'll win. Now, I don't know how that's going to affect him, but he'll his popularity is up there and he's going to lead a movement in a way. Join the stream, man. Let me drop this down. Join the stream. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. We talking a little football. Talking about Shedeur, his impact on the black community. A lot of people are looking at it, saying it's a rich, black, powerful family. This is a NFL Hall of Famer who did it his way. He wants his son to go against the grain. Now, that's where the NFL traditionally is going to have a problem because they like the submitted Negro. They like the Negro who's on his knees. They like the Negro who's bent and in service. And then when you look at The Blind Side, right? 2009, Sandra Bullock won an Oscar. She portrayed a white woman who took a black teen and added him to her family. And that man went on to become an offensive lineman for Ole Miss. And then he went on to go to the pros for the Baltimore Ravens. He since sued them. He sued the family who wrote that story about him. He's come public and said he received nothing, no type of compensation, even though the movie was about him. It was about the mom. He also disagreed with aspects of the movie, saying that it was not portrayed correctly. When you talk about the blind side portrayed a story about the Negro, the slow Negro who has to get away from the black community. It portrayed a black man who has to get away from black people to succeed. And black people are not seen as families. Even the mom, there's a scene where she goes to talk to the mom to let her know that her son is living with her. There was no paperwork. There was no child custody. There was nothing other than her in a stern way talking down to. And I was like, how do you talk? And I'm looking at them. We're going to look at them. I said, how are you going to tell somebody's mother you have their kid? You can't just do it. And I said, no type of rehabilitation, no type of support for the mom. You know, they're in an impoverished area in America, and you go down there and you tell the mom that you're going to be raising the son, and then you portray it like she doesn't care. It's still a kid. And I said, and we all agreed because she won an Oscar and it won Best Picture. That's how they see the Negro. The Negro is never connected to a family. The Negro is independent. The Negro is a independent source, And in many cases, the Negro, you'll see the Negro, he will be, it's almost, if you ever seen horse racing, it's something to me like horse racing. Have you ever seen a horse? Do you know who the horse's family is? You don't. You don't really know. If you go and look at a horse race right now, you go, they gamble a horse race. You can go online and watch live horse racing and you can wager on them. But do you ever see the you see what I'm saying? That's how they do the Negro. The Negro is disconnected from his family unless he's white, right? And the Negro's not white, right? So the Negro is always disconnected from his family. The Negro always is portrayed as um the NFL is your new father, your new mother. We're going to raise you the way we raise you. We want you to shut your mouth. We want you to humble. We want you to get on that football field. We want you to score touchdowns. We want you to perform. But when it's time to talk, you shut your mouth. When it's time for a contract, you shut your mouth, Negro. And we're going to underpay you, and you're going to be glad to get it. And we're going to low key send a signal to America. We underpaying this nigga. And they're doing that you're doing now. He got a 4-year, $4 million deal. He was making $6 million a year in college. He got a 4-year, $4 million deal. They're underpaying him. And that is deliberate. They're going to underpay him because that also is a way to try to find a connection to the white community. Let them know, hey, we underpaying this nigga. We're not paying him what we owe him. We're going to pay him. We making a killing. That's the same way Nike does Jordan. Nike does Jordan the same way. We underpay this Negro. We're going to get this Negro a couple of dollars, but we're going to make 100 billion. He's going to make 1 billion eventually, 20 years from now. We also own the rights to all his shoes. That's all our stuff. That Team Jordan stuff, that's his. But we own Air Jordan. We'll be making money. You know what? I'll be feeding my kids in the future off of Jordan. And see, that's the reality. Negroes going to try to wrap it and turn it into something else. But no, that's the real. They got him. If Jordan really wants to make money, he's got to have his own shoes. And you know, a basketball player said that years ago, and Michael Jordan got the guy kicked off the team. The guy went into Sports Illustrated and said, well, Mike, he said, I get he got a connection to Nike. He said, Michael, he's got a connection to Nike, but if Mike really, really wanted to, make a difference, he'd have his own shoe company. Mike went back and talked to Phil, whatever that guy's name is, and got that man fired. Phil Jackson. They traded that guy like that week. They asked Mike about it. Mike didn't comment. They asked him. He didn't comment. Next you know, that dude was playing for the Clippers. He said Michael owns prisons. Well, you right about that. He said Lane Clifton will leave a program without telling anybody. Oh man, we'll see, man. I mean, we'll see what happens to them. In 2 days they play, so we'll see. I don't know. I mean, this thing he got now, this football team he got, I like him, and I wouldn't wager against him. I just wouldn't play the game. When you lay wagers, that don't mean you have to take a side. You have to like a team and know that team's gonna cover. If not, you go to another team. You just say fuck that game. You don't have to bet against the team. A&M is bad. Didn't Arch Manning just set like 500 yards passing or something? Then he set some record against A&M's terrible. And I don't know. You need to go look and see if that coach about to get fired. That means he don't have time to coach. He's got to put in resumes, and he's busy worrying about his own ass. So the team, he'll just show up, but they won't be prepared. He said Shedeur isn't the most powerful black guy since Obama. I'm betting. He said, I'm bettering against the Browns. We found out how bad the Raiders are. You're bettering. I hope you win your bettering, bro. Whatever that is. And the black community is connected to Shedeur because they feel a connection. Dion reached out to the Dolph family. He's basically taken the kid in, the two kids, girl and a boy under his wing. He's like a godfather to young Dolph's kids. He came through Jackson. He went to Colorado. They liked Shedeur. Shedeur, to a certain degree, was dogged out by the NFL, passed over. Then he goes and gets drafted and he gets put on the bench and he played the game. He didn't do anything. He's never said he hadn't went live or he hadn't went on no live. He hadn't thrown his team under the bus. He supported his teammates the whole game. Now he's getting the opportunity to play, and people don't like the fact that he's ready to take that opportunity. He's ready to take this opportunity by the horns. He's ready to take this team all the way to the end. That's what he wants to do. That's what he wants to do. And it's overdue, long overdue. And it's time that America sees that all this whole thing about this oppression, black people have to be oppressed, and then the greatness will come out of some of them. In the meantime, the ones we lose, we just lose. It's worth getting those few. Well, Shedeur's never been oppressed. Never been oppressed. And look at him. And if he could break away from his coaches, he's got to break away and start street balling out there. Because that's really what he is. He's a sandlot. He's a park. He's that guy at the, you know how you go to the park and then you, every now and then, I mean, once in a while, you'll see a guy throwing bombs. You'll be like, damn, this guy can throw, and it'll be touchdowns. He's throwing these rainbow deep balls that's hitting guys right there in the hands, and they're scoring touchdowns. And you'll be like, who's this guy? And it turns out, for whatever reason, he got kicked out of high school or he washed out of college and he was a quarterback. And I've done that. I've been in the park and see all these rainbow deep throws. I was like, damn, that dude putting that ball up there, and the people running behind it get up under right there, boom, touchdown, boom. Yeah, and then you navigate around the park and you see him. You say, hey man, you could throw the football. Did you play? Oh yeah, man. I used to play for this school, this high school. So what college you go to? Well, I went to this college, man, and and it just washed out, man. Things didn't work out that way. I work, he's got his kid there out in the park. And he said, I just go out there, man. I go out and just warm up a little bit. You be like, damn, this dude can throw. Like, man, you could throw a football. And that's the type of guy Shedeur Sanders is. That's the type of guy Shedeur Sanders is. That's the type of football player Shedeur Sanders he represents and what he's become. Like the stream, bro. Isn't that something? He said revolutionary. What look, let Shedeur Sanders be Shedeur Sanders. I wish America just leave him alone. If you think he's gonna fail, let him fail. If black people, which they've already done, hitch their wagon to him, let them. And it's not you. This is more of a thing of identification. They can identify with Dion. They can identify with him, single father raising his kids, co-parenting, going through ups and downs with his ex, and still trying to maintain his life and make sure those kids are okay. And that's what he's done. and one of them didn't pan out. Two of them didn't pan out. Dion Jr., he didn't pan out, and Shiloh didn't pan out. Shedeur, he said this was the kid I was around the most. So Shedeur has always been with him. That's like, the other kids were more raised by their moms, but Shedeur has always been around him a lot. And he's been very influential on his kid. And his kid, is a rapper. His kid is 100% stereotypical, black American. He loves hip hop. He loves rap. Dolph, he likes Young Boy. He likes all of those guys. He's young. He patterns it. Say, he got money. He dresses like them. He wants to be like them. And I think that that's rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. They don't like that. When it's a Negro, the Negro has to be quiet. Just like Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis is a wonderful example. Ray Lewis said that, look at Ray Lewis on a football field. Who's going to run past Ray Lewis? Look at it, a massive linebacker, right? But off the field, a church man. God this, God that, the Lord. That's how they like the Negro. They like a Negro like that. And it's when you think about it, right? It's almost like a pit bull. That pit bull can stand next to its owner and it's quiet. That's a pit, a wide mouth pit. He don't do nothing. He stand up next to his owner, quiet, calm. You go up, talk to the owner. The pit just sitting there. But if that pit gets into a fight, that same pit, you can see him just destroying another. And that's how they want the Negro to be. And it's always been like that. That ain't nothing new, man. It's always been like that. That ain't nothing new. That's how they've engineered the Negro. And Shedeur is Shedeur is showing the world that you don't have to be that way. You can grow up with money. Black people will be better off with money. You can make a case that Shedeur is a good example for the reparations debate. All these people saying they're going to take their money and throw it away. Dion didn't throw his money away. Dion got plenty of money. He living in mansions, living a life, but he ain't thrown it away. He had money all his life. Dion had money all his life. He raised his kids, all his kids. He's been a main influence in all of their lives. And that's what a lot of people don't like because of what he represents. Because they want the Negro to still live under the slave narrative. That and it's always the white man. The white man saved you, Negro. He saved you from the jungle. And just like in The Blind Side, the white man saved that Negro from his family. If it wasn't for this good white family, that dude would have never made it to the NFL. And if you go and look at that movie, because I said, damn, didn't even give his mom a neck bone. Like, you gonna go by the mother and you ain't gonna help her out? She no help. Your son's with me now. As insane as that sounds. And then they portrayed the mom as she didn't care. Isn't that that the mom didn't care. And that movie won Best Picture 2010, 15 years ago at the Oscar. That movie won Best Picture, The Blind Side. And it didn't take that movie. They've always looked at the Negro like that. The Negro becomes property. When the Negro is drafted into the NFL, he now belongs to the NFL. And the NFL will raise them the way they see fit. Like the stream, bro. Like the stream. We got the join link posted, man. Take your thoughts. We going into it. It's a Wednesday, one day before Thanksgiving, if that matters to you. Um, Gotta get it, man. You should be cooking today. If you are, you should be already preparing your meal, man. Preparing that turkey, man. Getting it together today so that tomorrow, if you have people over, family, or you go somewhere, you got it all done. You took care of it. If that's what you want to do, you got. He said, "A victim. Look, brother. Hit the link. Help me out. You said that's what's holding us back. Help me out. Don't do it from the chat. Come on up here and tell me the victimhood mentality is what's holding you back. Focusing on the past that isn't even yours will hold you back from your future." Well, unless you're willing to hit the link, it's irrelevant what you say, brother. Because we right now live in a country where the white male is considered a victim. The white America is considered a victim. You got Nick Fuentes, you got Ben Shapiro, all of them say whites are victims. But you can't have two victims, right? So I think Shedeur, a powerful black family, changing the cultural stereotypes of how blacks are perceived, changing that, and that's what he's doing. This hobbled, broken Negro who can't move around, barely can move, barely can read, barely can write. Shedeur is an affront to that. He is an affront to that. And this bothers a lot of people. This just bothers a lot of Negroes. It bothers them, and it bothers a lot of white people. That just bothers them that this guy, he grew up rich in America, all the spoils of America he's experienced. He was driving a $450,000 car in college. This black man, 450, a Rolls. And look at what he chose. He didn't go get some car with rims and spinner rims. He got him a Rolls Royce. He kept it base. He didn't want to put nothing on it. He kept it base. And see, this felonious of guys like him want the Negro to stay in a box. He perceives the Negro to be a certain kind of way he wants the Negro. That's why they don't like a Shedeur Sanders, because the Shedeur is outside that box. And they want to disconnect with guys like Shakur. We can disconnect you with Shedeur from the black community. They're not going to be able to do that. They'll talk about a Shedeur Sanders, and then they'll put a Negro, a common, regular, smegular Negro. They'll take some Sambo, Bojangling Negro and say that's who you Negroes need to look up to. It'll be somebody, a tether that they've created, and they'll throw him in the middle of that. It'll be some Sambo, and they'll tell black people that's the type of person you should look up to. But when you look at a Shedeur, they don't like that, and black people are gravitating toward him hard, especially in this social media age. Especially in the social media age, they're really gravitating toward. They're really gravitating toward him because they see the greatness. And the sad thing about this whole story, they're going to win all the rest of their games, is whites or racist whites are going to feel offended by that because see, he's a Negro, he's supposed to lose. You guys don't know how, and we do that over here. We talk about slavery and race, and we say we like to talk about what slavery did to black people. We rarely talk about what it did to white people. And when you think about what it did to whites, it gives them this impression that Negroes cannot do certain things and that Negroes are forced to be, they got to go take care, they got to go take the Negro away from his mother, raise him, and then he can play for Ole Miss and go to the pros. Why would you got to take him from his mom? You really think that's where the story said it? What do you take him from his mom? You think that's a good thing? What about his mom? And that's the blind side. And they want an Oscar for that because it plays into how they really see the Negro. America really sees the Negro a certain kind of way. They don't look at the Negro as he had a good father. He grew up, he was well taught, he was raised the right way. He's a Christian man. That's his faith, or he's a Muslim man. That's his faith. His family are good, hardworking people. They don't look at that when it comes to Negroes. They don't look at Negroes like that. They look at Negroes as we got to retrain these Negroes. We got to teach these Negroes how to act. We got to teach these Negroes how to be human beings. And they make a lot of money off of that too, man. Yeah, they make a lot of that. They get a lot of their money doing that stuff. What did that dude, Tyreek Hill, when he got in trouble? What did he do? He didn't call for his father. He didn't call for his wife. He called for Drew. I think Rosenthal or whatever, the agent, he said Drew. He said, call Drew. Call Drew. He didn't ask for a family member. And they got him. They got Tyreek Hill. Some of us are going to fall prey to that. Tyreek Hill is, yeah, they got, anytime you get in trouble, you call for your agent, the system's got you. You're brainwashed. The system has got you. You are brainwashed. Anytime you get in trouble and you call for your agent, you're brainwashed. And that's what they like about the Negro. I mean, that is what they expect out of the Negro. You get in trouble, you call a white man. You do something good, you better credit a white man. Shedeur, you better give all the credit to your coach. Even though he was trying to fuck you the whole season, you got to give him all the credit. Shedeur, give the credit to your line. Shedeur, credit somebody white. Where's your agent at, Shedeur? I'm looking around here. I see Dion. I see you. I see all these black people. We're not for that. That's not what we're about. We're not here to show the world black people can be excellent. We're not here to do that. Where's somebody white at? Bring that white guy up here. Okay. Now, let's talk about how grateful you are to that white guy right there, your agent. Talk about Tom Brady. Didn't you do some workouts with Tom Brady? Tom Brady get any credit to this? You see the game, man, and we fall for it over, and we are yet to get out of it. Share the stream, man. We fall for this game over and over and over and over. We're yet to get out of it, man. We don't understand it. We don't want to understand it. We don't want to know. We don't know. We don't want to know. And now we have them. Shedeur Sanders. We waited a long time. He's going to beat the 49ers. So you guys think I'm just Listen to me, man. He's going to beat the 49ers. With that defense at home, with that crowd, and he's going to have to break away from these coaches. When he breaks away from these coaches who try to ruin his delivery and change his style, and he's going to do it. He's going to break away. If he hadn't been told to do that already, you're going to see a man perform, and you got a lot of identification from black people who want to see him play. He's going to bring a lot of fans there. Wherever that Cleveland game is broadcast, they're going to break ratings history. And you see the making of a superstar. And a lot of black people, Jason Whitlock, a lot of black people don't want that to happen. A lot of black people want to look at him and say, I told you. They want to look at Shedeur after this year and may say he won 2 games and he lost 5. Jason Whitlock, guys like him want to look at Shedeur and say, I told you you wasn't shit. I told you you wasn't gonna do nothing. That's because that's how they look at the Negro to begin with. And then Jason goes into some rant about Clarence Thomas. What is that supposed? He said Clarence. What does that mean? He's the most influential. No, he's not. Clarence Thomas never. And then there's another thing that he leaves out. Clarence has never identified. Clarence don't identify himself like a black man. He don't look at. He's an American man. Clarence do not walk around jumping up and down talking about he black. That's not how he sees the world. Shedeur is a young kid. He's a young guy. He's learning. He's got a swagger that pisses a lot of people off. We're going to keep pushing him. We hope he keeps doing it. We're going to advocate for him, and we're happy for him, man. We've been supporters. We're going to stay that way. He said, I thought they was doing him dirty with the red zone. Okay. Hey, go in and get that touchdown, man. Do what you got to do. Like the stream, brother. And life goes on, man. I just had family member just text me and said that they're at the Macy's Day Parade. Yeah, took the kids out to wanted to take the kids, wanted their kids to see this stuff, not just on TV, but want to see America, to want to see how great it can be if you play by the rules and you do the right things. They wanted them to see that. Yeah, he's out there. He took the family. Now they're from Charlotte, North Carolina. And he took the kids up to see. Say wants them to be standing out there. Wants them to see the crowds, and and they'll see it on TV, and but they want to put that memory as what you can do if you follow the rules, and you do what you're supposed to. You graduate, get the necessary academics, or get into business, or get into this social media. If you play by the rules, with the possibilities, you can live that kind of way. And this is an all black family. It's like seven of them, all black. And they went out to show them that they've been there before, and they travel all the time. They travel probably 3 times a year. They do major things. They've been to Grand Canyon. He told me he wants to make sure his children experiences things he never could as a child. He said, "You see the stuff on TV, man." He said, right now, because I work hard, my wife works hard, we can take advantage of that, and we can show our kids certain things they've never seen. And he said, I want them to see it now. He said, I wish I could have saw the Grand Canyon when I was a kid, how it would have affected the way I was going to grow up and look at the world. And Macy Day's parade, and go there and enjoy yourself and eat and fellowship and the spoils of America, and telling the kids, stay, do good in school, do the right thing, prepare yourself, do these things. We need more, and that's the Shedeur Sanders thing. We need more Shedeur Sanders type um, uh, football players. More of these guys rich, to a certain degree, entitled. Uh, and Shedeur is going to have to suffer. That's another thing. Shedeur is going to be, he's a sacrificial lamb. Maybe 15 years from now, we'll get a player who won't have to go through, because Shedeur is going through what he's going through. Just like Warren Moon. Warren Moon had to go to Canada so that other football players, quarterbacks, can get an opportunity. And he did. And he came back and he showed that a black man can be a quarterback in the NFL, because they didn't believe a black man was smart enough. And they didn't want to believe anything else but that. They didn't want to believe anything else but that. But hold up, man, because we were talking about Shedeur. Let me go over this thing right here. Right here. State playing Michigan, undefeated. Indiana, undefeated. A&M, undefeated. I think they're gonna have to play Indiana. I think there's a championship game. I think, I don't know. I don't Big Ten. I don't know. They might have one. Ole Miss, one loss. I don't know. Ole Miss. If Texas A&M loses, it's possible Ole Miss will go over them. Maybe. Yeah, Texas lost too many games, so there's no way they can go to the championship. There's no way. And Shedeur Sanders has a confidence. He has a powerful family. He challenges expectations that people put on black athletes and professional. He has an attitude of winning, and he's opened up conversations about race and about black power and black representation. And that's what a lot of people don't want to deal with. They keep talking about victimhood. Isn't that something the white supremacist never wants the Negro to get out up under their brainwashing. Now, um, you had Rush Limbaugh. Now you got Megyn Kelly. They're nothing but go listen to their show. Rush Limbaugh said the white man was a victim. He was victimhood the entire time he was alive. Victimhood, victimhood. Megyn Kelly, victimhood, victimhood, victimhood. And then you say that you respect the rights of a voter, right? Just saw some dude saying he wants the mayor of New York to be removed. How can you do that? The people put him in there. I thought you were for free speech. I thought you were for people, putting in place the people that they want. This hypocrisy, though, man. That's the thing with the Negro. They do want the quarterback to be arrogant. They do want the quarterback to be youthful and arrogant and take no chance. They just don't want that from the Negro. They don't want that from the Negro. And Dion has raised his kid not to be afraid of his success and not to feel sorry for himself. He's saying that Shedeur doesn't have to apologize that he's a good quarterback, but the NFL wants him to do that. Systematic racism, draft day slide. They punished him for being a confident black man. He's overanalyzed and insulted by the media. And it's a challenge to the Negro. They tell the Negro, you getting out of your station. You're not in a position to be arrogant, and feeling yourself and talk about you what they looking for. You're not. They don't like that. And in the process, and I'm not saying he tried to do it, he bought the whole. He's connected the black community in a way others cannot. He's connected them in a way others cannot do. Others are just not good enough to do it. Get these trolls in here, man. I don't even know why. Why come in here, bro? He's given Shedeur Shedeur Sanders has connected the black community. I haven't seen anybody since Muhammad Ali. I haven't seen anybody do what he's doing since Ali. You can make a case this is the second coming of Muhammad Ali. People didn't like the way he talked. He was very open, float like a butterfly, sting like a bee. A lot of people didn't like that. They didn't like that. Not coming from a black man. And Shedeur Sanders is that same danger to the system where you have black people being arrogant, black people being confident, black people not dependent on white society to do what they need to do. And that's a danger to America. Shedeur is to some degree. A lot of people won't be upset with him. A lot of people gonna be upset with him. Like the stream, brother. Say he's doing the same thing that Martin Luther King did. You sure? You sure he's doing that? I wouldn't go that far. But on the football field, he's a rebel. And the world's against him, man, and he's gonna have to prove himself. And that story, a lot of black people, they know that story from their own personal experience. You have to prove people wrong. People always assume some very negative position against you without any proof. You have to prove them wrong. And Shadua is going to do it. Martin Luther King lost everything, including his life. He lost it all. When you look at Negroes now, when I take a look at the Negro now, the Negro's going to take over his church. His daddy's got a church. That Negro ain't gonna go to Arkansas and Alabama and Memphis and get killed trying to free Negro. They ain't gonna do that. Like the stream, brother. Like the stream. We got the join link posted, man. We'll take your thoughts. It's 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 Wednesday, man, the day before. To give thanks, man. What are you gonna get into, man? What are you gonna get into? Who else has gotten a Popeyes turkey? You seen that Cajun turkey they got? Who else has gotten one of those things, man? And they're easy to prepare, man. You just it's not just that. I'm saying you can go get a turkey, a butterball. They're easy to prepare. You just gotta have the time. You gotta do it today. You gotta cook it today to eat it tomorrow. So you put it together today. You move it around. You put a little juices back on it. You season it the way you want to season it. You put it in the paper. You let it cook. Take it out. Move it around. Wrap it back up. Let it go another cover. Take it out. Move it around. Let it go. Put the juices on it. Make sure it's yeah. It's not hard. Just it's more or less who has the time to dedicate it to something like that. That's just a small part of it. And my thing, I'd say the same thing about Thanksgiving. I might do a stream on this. What do black people have to be thankful for? I mean, because my conversation with the 4th of July has always been like this. Like, what are you Negroes out here popping all these firecrackers? Look at your schools, look at your neighborhoods. Look at your communities. Look at you don't have a grocery store in your community. You got to go damn near 10 miles to go to you got to eat out of the Dollar General. You got to eat out of a Dollar General. Dollar General for all everything. It's a micro Walmart, the Dollar General. But that's the Negro existence, man. It's always been like that. Like the stream, brother. That is the Negro, and that is the plight of the Negro. And there's a lot of Negroes who hope Shedeur fails. We know that. They don't want to see him win, man. They don't want to see him win. And a lot of Negroes have an attitude, I didn't make it, you can't make it. I couldn't make it, you can't make it. You black, you got to be down here like us. Yeah, isn't that something? He's got to go out and perform against that type of attitude. You see that in Negroes all the time. You really see that in the black experience, right? It's much like that. It's overwhelmingly like that. But this is what you get, man. This is what you get. Like the stream, brother. Share the podcast, man. We got to keep going, brother. Kendrick says Shador has the balance of I'm arrogant, but I'm humble too. He's having fun with this. Sanders have certainly toed the line between arrogance and humility since he's been the starting quarterback. He understands a lot of people want to see him fail, but he's saying that's not going to happen. And so far, he'll start this game against the 49ers. That's not going to be an easy game, but I do think he'll pull it off. I think he'll beat this team. I think the 49ers are sort of ripe for an upset. You saw Monday night, all the interceptions. Cleveland's defense, if he turns the football over, I guarantee you they'll lose. But I think even head to head, I think they'll lose the game anyhow because I think they're not ready. I don't think they're ready. Like the stream, brother. Yeah, and we're not surprised by that. Like I said, we expect Shedeur to do exactly what he's doing, and he's going to beat the 49. He'll probably close out this year. I don't know if they'll make the playoffs, but he'll probably close out this year with nothing but wins. They might make the playoffs. He certainly can win in that division. I think they've always gives the Ravens a hard game. You know, if they don't always win. Do me a favor, man. Like the stream. Like the stream. Hit the like. Like the stream. Likes are free. Like the stream. Subscribe to the channel, man. Bless the Cash App. Hit the Super Chat Cash App. And we out.